Good morning, 5 o'clock now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We are sitting right now at 68 degrees. We'll go to 81, and we do have some rain on the way. The forecast is coming up. Breaking this morning, 2 people hospitalized after a shooting at Edge Hill Apartments overnight. Police say they were injured during a shootout between 2 men that involved dozens of shots fired. The 2 people who are shot are expected to survive. Nashville leaders are in talks to make the city safer for victims of domestic abuse. It comes after Bryson Rivers, who, because of a flaw, was able to get out of jail and cross state lines to murder his ex-girlfriend over the summer. Vice Mayor Angie Emery Henderson tells Channel 4 that she wants to invest money into closing gaps in the criminal justice system.
We need them to share with us where the gaps are. We need to commit to fill those gaps.
Council members hope to have some next steps after a meeting between members of Metro Council, Metro Police, the Sheriff's Office, DA's Office, the courts, and Metro Finance. Well, they were celebrating in the streets of Los Angeles last night over the Dodgers winning the World Series. But it looked more like a riot, fans throwing projectiles and fireworks at police who were attempting to disperse them. And looters have hit a Jordan sneakers store.
There have been a number of getaway vehicles waiting for the merchandise to walk out. They stuff the trunks, they get in the car, and they drive away. We've seen several cars do that. LAPD is aware of this.
This is ABC helicopter reporter Chris Christie reporting. Now, Mayor Karen Bass earlier had warned that violence would not be tolerated. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Here's Dave Packer.
The major stock indexes on Wall Street were just down slightly as investors take in and wait for more earnings reports. At the close, the Dow down 91 points, the Nasdaq falling from its record high Tuesday, losing 105 points after disappointing earnings from chipmaker AMD. The S&P 500 fell 19 points. There were some winners. Shares of Google parent Alphabet rose by more than 3% after earnings crushed estimates, buoyed by Google's cloud computing business. The economy grew slower than expected in the third quarter, GDP rising in that third quarter 2.8% year over year. That's still healthy, just not the anticipated 3.1%. But ADP's jobs report showing a stronger than expected labor market in October, 233,000 new jobs, the biggest gain in 15 months. For the first time in its nearly 20-year history, Reddit is turning a profit. Nearly $30 million for the period ending in September on reported sales of just over $348 million.
And stock futures this morning all pointing down pretty sharply, too. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Just one really troubling spot this morning, and that's in Rutledge Hill. It's on Lafayette Street at 4th Avenue, a crash involving injuries. And if you're traveling this morning, the 40 southbound loop, traveling to exit 210B, just where you've got that off-ramp construction, and the right lane is blocked. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.506, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I like the headline from CNN. Trump tries to exploit Biden's garbage comment. I don't know if Trump is trying to exploit Biden's garbage comment. I actually believe that he has been able to exploit Joe Biden's garbage comment. That is where we will begin. We all remember, of course, this from the other day.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
And so now, of course, Donald Trump's garbage supporters, as Joe Biden says, they're mad. We're mad. We're angry. I thought it was interesting because I saw all of these headlines around the mainstream media yesterday, and they were saying, oh, this faux outrage. Donald Trump supporters supposedly outraged at being called garbage. And here's the thing. I expect nothing more or nothing less from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Karine Jean-Pierre. I really, name calling. I mean, look, once you've been called a Nazi, I think it's really all, uphill from there. And so for me, the garbage comment, I think from a political standpoint, because I very much am sort of like a political animal, I think this whole thing is like a big chess match. I love it. And I love the fact that Donald Trump actually did exploit. He did take advantage of the garbage comment by Joe Biden. Did you see what the president did, the former president did yesterday?
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Donald Trump shows up at a rally. I kid you not. I know that you've probably seen the video by now. In a massive garbage truck. It's got a Trump sign on it. It's got American flags on it as well. He shows up in a garbage truck. And so among the left, you know that they are absolutely eye-rolling. But Donald Trump is taking advantage, political advantage of a situation. You see, because unlike the left, who will make up lies about Donald Trump, they'll say that he said things that he never did say. And they'll repeat it over and over and over again. What Donald Trump is doing is exploiting and drawing attention to what the sitting president of the United States said about his supporters. And so he is in the passenger seat. By the way, if you haven't seen this, go to my X feed at Dan Mandis Show. It's all there. In all its trash truck, garbage truck glory. And so Trump is in the passenger seat, and he's answering questions. But not only that, but then he goes to this rally last night, and he's wearing a big orange vest that a garbage person, a garbage man, I guess, would wear. And I'm sorry, but it's funny. As he talks about not only the garbage truck, but he's also talking about the decision. And again, you can see all this on my X feed. He's also talking about the decision to not only get the garbage truck, but wear the garbage vest.
Thank you very much. So this outfit, is when he called us all garbage. How stupid. What a stupid word. That blows deplorable away, don't you think? Of course, I thought irredeemable when she said deplorable or irredeemable. I thought irredeemable was actually worse, but deplorable seemed to catch up. But this garbage stuff blows it away. So I'm in this beautiful plane. I'm enjoying myself. I have a wonderful suit on. And one of my people came in and said, sir, the word garbage is the hottest thing right now out there. The hottest thing out there. Sir, would you like to drive a garbage truck?
Awesome.
Now, we're about, 30 minutes from landing. We had to do this pretty quick. I said, it's sort of cool, though, isn't it? Because, they pulled up this garbage truck. I don't know how the hell they did it so fast. I have very capable people.
Yep.
They put a big sign on the truck. Did you see it? I think they showed it.
And as he is describing all of this, see, this is a great story. And I think this is one of those moments where Donald Trump, the master storyteller, really does just take over. And in Green Bay, Wisconsin last night, he's describing his big worry as his team comes to him with this terrific idea until the truck actually pulls up and he sees the stairs that are really high.
I climbed into the truck, but so I said, how the hell do you get into this truck? It's way up high. It's a big one. This was a beauty. I said, you didn't have to buy it that big, right? You have to get it that big? They brought this brand new, gorgeous truck, wonderful driver. He looked like Cary Grant in his prime. You know who that is? Mm-hmm. This beautiful driver. And he drove that big thing up. And I said, man, this is bad, because now I have all the cameras are all what? Look at all the fake news. They were, most of them. Many of them were there, and I'm saying, oh, boy. One little mistake with these guys and your political career is over. You can't even. So I said, man, if I don't get up there, this is going to be very embarrassing. These stupid people, they'll say, he's cognitively and physically impaired.
I mean, they would.
So the first stair is like up here. I'm saying, So I had the adrenaline going, and I made it.
He did. He made it up the stairs. And then, of course, I loved, by the way, when CNN and Wolf Blitzer, he has to break into his all-important newscast, Wolf Blitzer did, and he said, oh, we have breaking news. Donald Trump is answering questions. And there is Donald Trump in all his glory in this garbage truck on the passenger side, And then Donald Trump goes on to explain why exactly it was that he was wearing that garbage man vest on stage. And I mean, you have to see it, but it's orange and it's got, stripes and everything. And it's very funny because, of course, he's wearing it over his traditional white shirt and red tie.
And then I got in the car and I'm driving over here and I have this still on. And I come into the arena and I say, where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing. And they said, it would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage. I said, and I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket.
Oh, wait.
But if you did, it actually makes you look thinner. I said, ooh. And they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage. When they said I look thinner, I said, in that case, I'll wear it on stage.
There you go. Listen, I would wear a garbage person vest if it would make me look thinner. So very, very funny. Donald Trump on stage last night. And Joan, that's what I mean.
His element. I mean, honestly, he was in his element.
He was absolutely in his element. He was having a good time. He was telling stories. And I kid you not, Joan, I don't know what TV you have on in there.
Yeah.
But CNN just had a 5-person panel. A 5-person panel on Donald Trump driving up in a garbage truck.
Yeah, but this is how they operate. They've just completely lost their minds.
Yeah. Oh, if you look at the faces of these folks, these people on CNN, these all-important anchors on CNN and the contributors and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, they just look like somebody kicked their cat or shot their puppy. That's what it looks like. And it's great. I love it. 5:15, time to check the roads on WTN.
Well, in Rutledge Hill is still there this morning. The crash at Lafayette Street and 4th Avenue, and it involves some injuries. Then you've got the road work on the 40 southbound loop to exit 210B. The off-ramp right lane remains blocked. You've only got the left lane to traffic. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
5:16 as far as your weather goes for Halloween. Mostly cloudy today until 5 o'clock or so, when the rain is going to be moving in. High today of 78. I mean, I said it yesterday. It is so frustrating. Doesn't rain for like weeks and weeks, and now here we are at Halloween, right when everybody's getting ready to go trick-or-treating, and here comes the rain. So it's a little frustrating. But that's okay. You know what? You can have a Halloween costume and an umbrella all at the same time. So we'll keep an eye on the weather. We'll have a bit of a timeline coming up at 5:35 here on Nashville's Morning News. Donald Trump talking about this rally in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Love to see Brett Favre there as well. But this is so obviously an opportunity for Donald Trump to be seen as a unifier, which he is, by the way, and the left clearly is a divider. We have all seen this. But it's interesting how things have turned, right? The media seemed okay with all the other nasty comments hurled at our side. Joe Biden, though, calling Donald Trump supporters garbage, that seems to be the moment where Biden may have put the final nail in the coffin of the Kamala Harris campaign. Maybe. We'll have to see what happens. Now, once Donald Trump got to the issues in this great rally in Wisconsin, he did talk very much about being the unifier that he is. He had another great comment about illegal immigration.
Criminal migrants from prisons and jails, from insane asylums and mental institutions all over the world, from Venezuela to the Congo, including savage criminals who assault, rape, and murder our women and girls. Anyone who would let monsters kidnap and kill our children does not belong anywhere near the Oval Office.
I mean, he's absolutely right. Obviously, a great point. You want to talk about a unifying message. What could be more unifying for the American people than supporting the policies that ultimately would have kept Laken Riley and Jocelyn Nungaray and Rachel Marin alive? That's the thing. That's just three names of countless Americans that have been killed or raped by Kamala's invasion. And so Donald Trump, he talks about how he wants to protect the women of this country. And I do love how he uses the word protect.
And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. So why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say. I pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things.
It is interesting. What a great moment if you think about it, because Kamala's campaign and the Biden administration have been all about weakness, a weak president. Doug Emhoff, of course, Kamala's husband, not only weak, but shows that weakness by apparently roughing up girlfriends and, of course, the whole knocking up the nanny thing. And Tim Walz, another, in my opinion, incredibly weak candidate, a weak male. As they try and paint these guys as not as testosterone-laden as the average Donald Trump supporter. Remember all of that stupidity, right? The point is the campaign is going after these not-so-masculine men, I suppose. And my question is, are they really doing well with women? I mean, think about it. Donald Trump uses the term protect. He wants to protect women. That is a great line. We spoke the other day about how being a strong man these days is somehow a bad thing in Kamala's America. I do love how Donald Trump says in a very strong way that he is going to protect women. And this discussion, because let's all be honest, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and Joe Biden, they've done nothing to protect women. They have done nothing to protect America. We have all of these illegal aliens, all these gangbangers that are coming into this country. They are assaulting, raping, and killing not only, of course, women, men too, but the number of rapes in this country skyrocketing. And so when Donald Trump says he wants to protect women, and people are like, oh my God, don't say protect. That's so sexist. I'm reasonably certain. And Joe, didn't we talk the other day? I don't know when it was. But didn't we talk the other day about how there's nothing wrong with being a strong male? And I love that Donald Trump says that he wants to protect women.
Absolutely.
Because
we talked about it in relation to the Donald Trump Madison Square Garden event and how it was so testosterone laden. Yeah, because that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't mind that.
Oh, by the way, very quickly, as a side note, I want you to listen to something. So I just played you the audio of Donald Trump saying that he wanted to protect women. He also said, you know, even if the women, something about how even if the women don't want it, that was part of his comment. This is how the Kamala campaign edited that audio. I want you to listen very closely. This is, this was on TikTok and Twitter and the rest of it.
They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say. I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
And on the side of this video,
whether the women like it or not,
it says something like Donald Trump says he'll monitor women's abortions.
I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not.
That they took his words, of course, completely out of context. Yep. And this isn't some, 19-year-old weasel in his mom's basement. This was the Kamala campaign.
Yeah.
Who took his words completely out of context. He is saying he wants to protect women. And the whole point that he says where, whether women like it or not, he's talking about, the Democrat women or the women who are supporting Kamala Harris. And he's like, well, they may not like me. They may not like my policies. They may not like my border policies, whatever. But whether they like it or not, I am going to protect all women and I'm going to protect all Americans as well. And Kamala Harris and the Harris campaign, what they decided to do was take it completely out of context and lie about what the former president, possibly future president, was saying. Anyway, no big shock. 522 on Nashville's.
Not above deception.
That's exactly right. 522, Joan Jones has the news at 5:30.
And coming up here at 5:30, Dan, of course I don't have anything ready for it, but I will tell you what is going on in the news this morning. Here we go. Are you ready?
Sure.
So we'll tell you about something that we could celebrate about education in Tennessee.
All right.
There we go.
You know what I want to do?
What do you want to do?
I want to do like a trick-or-treat forecast.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
So I want to look at when the weather's going to come in, when the rain's going to come in.
Yeah.
And how much rain is going to come in. And I just want to see because what time does it get dark? I don't even know these days.
It's
I'm
like,
always
what,
asleep.
6 o'clock-ish?
All right.
Is it that soon? I think it is.
Yeah, it's getting dark around 6 o'clock, and that's right around when the rain is supposed to be coming in.
Okay, so
Kids go out early. That's all.
All right, so what's the well, I can't do this now, but think about this. What is the appropriate time for people to go trick-or-treating? If you're going to go early, what's too early? Is
like
3
right
o'clock?
after school, yeah.
3 o'clock is not too early to go trick-or-treating?
Not at all.
Okay. All right, we'll talk about that and a whole lot more straight ahead. 524, and Dan Mandis here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Of course, every night at home, I thank the Lord for Xfinity Internet because we can stay connected with Wi-Fi coverage that delivers the speed we need, and you can too. Now listen, homework and radio shows, they don't wait for the internet to work. You need a reliable connection. Even when everyone is online and working, I rely on Xfinity. And by the way, on the off chance that there are some issues, Xfinity has 24/7 customer service here for you whenever you need it with in-home Wi-Fi support. And if you're on the go, you can stay connected with over 20 million secure Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspots nationwide. So get the best Wi-Fi for your life, whether it's doing homework with the kids or work for the paycheck. Rock-solid internet is only a phone call away with Xfinity. Always tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out, 1-800-XFINITY, online, xfinity.com, or drop into an Xfinity store today for more details.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
Hey everybody, Dan Mandis with Nashville's Morning News and Super Talk 89.7 WTN. I was speaking to Dr. Christopher Van Shank the other day at a station event. Now, he's a psychiatrist, and he was telling me about the mental health crisis here in America. And as you know, it's out of control. The COVID lockdowns were an absolute disaster. And Dr. Van Shank, again, he's a psychiatrist. And if you're one of those people, you feel like maybe you need to talk to somebody, I would recommend Dr. Christopher Van Shank. He can help you with addictions, depression, anxiety. He can also help kids with the same thing. He's been doing this for 15 years. He's been helping people, and he is here for you today. So if you want to check out his website is nolensvillepsychiatry.com. That's nolensvillepsychiatry.com. There's a whole list of issues that he can help you with. So check him out. If you feel like he can help you, give him a call. The number is below, and good luck.
Good morning. It's now 5:30, and I'm Joan Jones with the top stories. We're looking at 68 degrees, and we are expecting some rain on this Halloween, so we've got your forecast still to come. A handful of people have been charged for vandalizing properties in Spring Hill, and police think the incidents are related to a rivalry football game between Summit and Independence High Schools. Police say this all went too far. Teens were targeting homes with fireworks, eggs, and other items, causing more than $1,000 in damages. Spring Hill Police Lieutenant Michael Foster talked to News 2.
There's a fine line between good, clean fun and scaring the whole neighborhood.
8 minors have been charged along with 2 adults. The game between the schools takes place tomorrow. U.S. Marshals now on a nationwide manhunt for Nicholas Hamlet, who's wanted for murder in Polk County. Hamlet is thought to be the caller who alerted police to a hiker that had been injured after falling from a cliff while running from a bear. But that story, police believe, is not true. They think it's a case of murder. Hamlet is still on the run.
An arrest warrant has been issued for Mr. Nicholas Wayne Hamlet for first-degree murder out of Monroe County, Tennessee. Mr. Hamlet is considered to be armed, and he is considered to be highly dangerous.
DA for the 10th District in Tennessee, Steve Hatchett there. His office is offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to Hamlet's capture. Well, there was more good news on the economy yesterday. Consumer confidence growing, more jobs added to the economy, wages are up. But it's clear that voters aren't feeling it.
Analysts say those wages aren't making up for years of rising costs. Food prices, while stabilizing, are still 25% higher compared to the last presidential election. Gas, although down in the last year, is still nearly $1 more per gallon than during the pandemic in 2020. And the monthly mortgage payment on a typical home has nearly doubled since 2020 to nearly $2,200.
That's ABC's Andrea Fujii. Well, the stock futures are pointing sharply down this morning, and that's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 5:33. Don't wait, friends. The number one question I always get from listeners is, how can I get into the conservative fight? Well, it's critical to know where your dollars are going. Now, you know that most credit cards are funneling millions of dollars to the left. But these days now, you do have a choice. Coin is America's conservative credit card. You earn cash back while fighting the liberal agenda. Apply right now online, coin.com. It's with a G. COIGN, coin.com. Terms apply. Go to coin.com with a G, COIGN, coin.com/disclosures for full details.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy in the middle of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. We've talked so much about Savory Spice. I thought, why not show you the place? So let's go on in and see what's popping at Savory Spice. As I've always said, you will smell the spices even before you walk in. I can smell them right here in the doorway. Come on in and let's introduce you to the one and only Holly, who is the owner and proprietor of Savory Spice. Say hey, Holly.
Hello, everyone.
Now, enough about Holly. Let's talk about spicy and easy products like the incredible taco soup, which, as I said, you put this in a crock pot, you put all the ingredients that it tells you to buy right there, you put the spices in, and it's so easy. So if you don't know what you're doing around the kitchen, it's a perfect way to find your way around the kitchen, as is the Mediterranean dill risotto. Now, for the holidays, pumpkin pie spice. What doesn't it have, Holly?
Pumpkin.
It doesn't have any pumpkin in it. That's a fun fact for all of you kids out there. Now, if you stop by Savory Spice, either in the Franklin location or at L&L Market, you can get yourself a sample of the dill dip, which is my absolute favorite. Just tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice with purchase now. So come by Franklin or L&L Market in Nashville and come see Holly and the entire crew at Savory Spice.
Got a problem on 40 westbound this morning at Hermitage Avenue, exit 212. It's an accident reported there. That's in Southside. And then the I-40 southbound loop, the exit to 210B, that road work there on the off-ramp has got the right lane blocked. The left lane is the only one available to traffic. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey everybody, Dan Mandis with Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. Right now, we are bringing results for our clients using both our radio and digital assets. 2025 is going to be a huge year, not only here in Tennessee, but of course, across America. If you want to jump on board, again, we're offering great incentives. Find us online, 997WTN.com, and let's talk.
Oh, look at you.
I love this.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can I send the attorney phone calls to then you and Mason when this goes out over the internet and we get calls from the corporate attorneys?
Tell them to lighten up.
Oh my God. I've told the corporate attorneys to lighten up when these copyright things go out over the internet. And you know what happens?
You get in trouble.
I'm no longer in that office. That's what happened. I'm totally kidding. That's my choice, really. I love this. What's your favorite, Joan, do you have a favorite Halloween song?
I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm really big on Phantom of the Opera. So any of the songs from Phantom of the Opera, I totally love.
All right. How about you, Mason? Who, by the way, Mason's in for Johnny. Johnny's still ill today. I think he may be back tomorrow.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed.
I'm here to help no matter what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am partial to this one. I grew up on it. Just obviously, I think it's a classic.
Yeah.
The Haunted Mansion theme from Disney World is great.
Yeah.
My dad is a huge fan, and so growing up, because he went to Disneyland when he grew up in California, and so he would play it every Halloween, and so I just ingrained into my brain.
I'm trying to remember what that is. I grew up in California too, and I'm trying to remember what that sounds like. The theme to Haunted Mansion. I don't remember what it sounds like.
The main theme it's called Grim Grinning Ghosts, and I'll pull it up here in a little bit as we transition over.
Hey, by the way, speaking of scary stuff on Halloween, why is Joe Biden biting children?
Again?
No, he usually smells them. This is different.
Oh, you're right. You're
No,
right.
he literally, if you go to the internet, it is all over the place this morning. Not one, but two children. So go to my ex, Dan Manda's show. There is a photo, and I showed it to you, Joan. Joe Biden he's like taking a bite out of a kid's thigh. And I don't understand what he's doing. By the way, in another video, he's like kissing the kid's toes. It's so weird.
This was at the White House Halloween party.
Yeah.
And actually, Daily Mail says that it's 3 kids that are victimized.
Did they use the term victimized, or is that you?
No, that's me.
Okay. I would say
yeah.
victimized. I mean, listen. So, Joan, you're a mother. I'm a father. If anybody came up to my newborn child under the age of 1, which that's what these kids look like, or at least the pictures that I saw, and some weird old man walks up and just starts putting his mouth all over him, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
He probably gets a pass because he's the president of the United States. You know, you're thinking he's...
I guess. How would you like to be that kid? You know, when you're 18, 19, 20 years old and there's a picture of you as a baby and, you know, literally the worst president of the United States ever is taking a bite out of your leg or kissing your toes.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he was kissing the toes or if he was like putting his mouth over them. I don't want to say sucking his toes, the baby's toes. I don't think that's what he was doing. But so I don't want to mischaracterize what was going on.
This one child looks scared.
Well, I would be scared too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a random man picked me up and started attacking me. Yeah, I think that's the one baby picture you let get lost to time. Whereas, like, the guy that was the Nirvana baby on the cover, he's like, oh, I'll claim that for money.
Oh, yeah,
I don't want to claim the Joe Biden baby. Well, that doesn't sound worth it.
And I think the Joe Biden, he's got to smell like Denture Grip.
Oh, easily.
Whatever that smell is.
One-eyed, one-horned people eater. Remember that song?
Oh, my goodness.
One-eyed.
One-eye, one-horn, people eater. I forget what the rest of it is.
No. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't.
Come on.
Well, listen, I wasn't a big, Halloween music fan. The Monster Mash is literally the one song that I know.
Have you ever seen Phantom of the Opera?
No, I'd probably fall asleep.
Oh, you would not. No, you would not at this one.
Really, Mason? So you're going to look down on... Is this...
This is the one I'm used to.
Flying, that's it.
All right. Yeah, I don't know.
Hold on, it's almost over. There you go.
They were good fun,
Mason's like, shut up.
Shut up,
Amanda. Wanted to do content and all that.
I'm having fun today. Oh, and this is that Grim Grinning Ghost theme.
All right, can you pull up the one that is this the one that she's talking about with the Haunted Mansion?
Yeah, this is the Haunted Mansion one. Yeah.
All right. You know what? I remember this. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, as you're walking in.
As you walk
it's
in.
Like eerie and dark, and there's the paintings on the walls.
You walk in, the paintings on the wall, and then the paintings on the wall start going.
They start to stretch.
Yeah, they start to stretch and all that kind of stuff. What a great ride.
Yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for how old it is. It's like, the little intro that he does.
4215 says that opera is awesome, Joan.
Yeah, see,
Phantom of the Opera is
you
great.
really have to.
7552, the don't forget Thriller, the best of all times. That's the Michael Jackson song, right?
It is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I've created a little list for what Chris and I are going to be playing on the show today. We're going to be
really
add some
He didn't
little
prepare
changes
a list
to our.
for your show. I take note.
Well, I wasn't asked to originally.
Why am I being thrown under the bus by you two?
I don't know what you're saying.
Come on,
man.
It's observations.
Yeah, that's it. Just observations.
Listen, we don't have time for tomfoolery. The president's biting kids.
We got to get this biter out of the office.
That's exactly right. Okay, so the timeline, by the way, my timeline for rain is a little different.
Oh, interesting.
My timeline for rain begins at 4.
Ooh.
Yep. Oh, shoot. It just updated. Now they're saying 2.
No.
Oh, really?
2 o'clock, they say there's a 25% chance of precipitation. Then 3 o'clock, it stops. And then 4 o'clock, it really starts.
What service are you using to look at this?
This is WeatherBug?
Okay.
What do you... I hear you judging me, Joan.
Oh,
Why?
no judging at all. Just, if you want an actual
did you hear
service.
that? Did you hear that, Mason? The judgy... Oh.
The Weather Channel, which is what I use.
Weather Channel. Bunch
Yeah.
of communist hacks.
Agreed, but they can tell weather. 5 o'clock, it's a 54% chance. 6 o'clock, thunderstorms, 75% chance. So I'm thinking later than 2 o'clock.
People are saying, by the way, that 3 o'clock is when the kids get off school is way too early to go trick-or-treating.
That's when we used to do it around our neighborhoods.
3 o'clock?
Yeah, as soon as the kids got home.
Interesting. I don't think I ever went earlier than like 5 o'clock because we'd always wait till the sun starts going down, so it's quote unquote creepier, and then there would be lights that would be on. In my neighborhood growing up, we had a neighbor down the road on the corner that would set up tents along his walkway to the front of his house, and then make it like a little mini haunted house. So you would have little fog machines going, and you would have little like
that's cool.
Animatronics moving that would jump and scare.
We've done fog machines at our house. We used to have like a Frankenstein head that was on my door. It's saying, "Who can it be knocking at my door?" I mean, it was the greatest thing ever. My kids loved it. To this day, my daughter still talks about the Frankenstein head.
Oh, that's probably nostalgic as all get out.
Oh, you can see it on YouTube. As a matter of fact, not mine, but I mean, it's the same thing. So
You know what we used to do is, so the kids would go out early, and then the parents we'd all get fire pits and put them in our driveways, and then you sit and wait for the kids to come by and have a little fire and maybe something warm in the cup to drink, and and you just kind of watch, and everybody sort of gets together, and you have a neighborhood campfire, celebration, and the kids run off and play on their own and eat a lot of candy, and you regret it later.
Yeah, because they're energized and running around your house. Yeah.
I used to have candy, like hard candy. Maybe you remember this too, Joan and Mason, where the hard candy would like stay in the refrigerator till like August.
Wait, you're keeping all of your candy in the refrigerator?
No, when I was a kid, that's what we would get.
Interesting.
My mom would put the hard candy in the refrigerator. I didn't know any better. I was just a kid. But it was always there. And so to this day, I remember, I think my mom was actually sneaking the hard candy along with the hard liquor, but that's a whole other story.
Different conversation.
Yes.
She's not here to defend herself. That's not right.
Oh, she was a proud alcoholic. Are you kidding me? You don't know this, Joan, but my mom, she was an alcoholic for a lot of years, and she openly admitted it, and being sober for many years was one of her big points of pride, actually. So,
as it should be.
By the way, 1938, Des Moines, Iowa. Do you know that they outlawed trick-or-treating in Des Moines, Iowa?
Interesting.
1938, yeah.
Why?
Because it's like the devil's holiday.
It's demonic. I get it.
Come on, Joan.
Listen.
I can't believe that as a bunch of conservatives, we're celebrating Halloween.
I don't celebrate Halloween personally.
So do the residents celebrate kids get dressed up and go get candy time, or
pretty much? I mean, we did it when the kids were young.
Yeah.
And we sort of evolved to not really.
Oh, sorry.
Celebrate.
I want to specify that wasn't a jab at what you were saying. Okay. I want to make sure. I was like, that was for Iowa specifically.
No, the reason why they decided nearly 7 decades ago to eliminate trick-or-treating was to tamp down on hooliganism.
Oh, like going out and like smashing like pumpkins and like throwing eggs and stuff like that.
Smashing Pumpkins. What a great band name. Anyway.
Dadgummit.
Instead, Des Moines children would put on their costumes on Beggar's Night, typically the day before Halloween. And besides screaming trick or treat, children were expected to tell a joke before receiving a treat. They're crazy out there in Des Moines, aren't they?
the worst lineup of knock-knock jokes you could ever hear.
This year, but have you guys ever, when you went trick-or-treating, did you ever do an actual trick? You ever like TP somebody's house to throw eggs?
We did it before, the night before. It was mischief night.
That's called vandalism, Jones.
Wait, you never did Mischief Night?
No.
What?
I'm not a hooligan like those kids in Des Moines.
Oh, my goodness. Mischief Night is the greatest night in the world.
Oh, my God, that's vandalism. Can I find out where you
Toilet
live and
paper?
just throw
Toilet paper
eggs
in somebody's
at your-
house? No, you don't throw eggs. You toilet paper somebody's house. You get all the for sale signs. You pick them off somebody else's lawn and you put them on all one person's lawn.
I know. Someone's yard entirely.
Yeah, I mean fun stuff.
Harris Wall signs.
I was going to say, what we're going to do, we're going to go to Jones's house and put, Harris Wall signs on there.
That's
all over the place.
Mean.
That would be funny. That would actually be very funny.
Yeah, I was like, I think the most I've done around this time is like ding dong ditching, and I could do that any time of the year, though.
Ding dong ditching. Come on, what is that?
Well, you run up, you ring the doorbell, like you spam it at somebody's house, and then they come to the door, and you run away and hide and just let them walk around and go, wait, who was at my door?
Yeah.
Nobody's here. Yeah.
You know Mason, welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Because when I brought up ding dong ditching, I think it was Ken who was sitting in Jones' chair and Johnny. They had no idea what ding dong ditching was.
Wait, what are you talking about?
90% of the audience had no idea what ding dong ditching
I'd
was.
never heard
What's
of
ding
that.
dong ditching, Dan?
What did you just say?
What?
Didn't you say ding dong ditching?
I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
messing with you.
Oh, my God.
Messing with you.
Mason, I'm old and I'm tired. Don't do that to me.
I'm young and tired. Welcome to the group.
The only thing I brought to the broadcast today was this. That's all I brought. Don't expect me to do anything else. All right, very good.
I mean, he's just falling in line with Uncle Bosie. Well, the cannibals who ate Uncle Bosie, I guess, if that's the case.
And you know what's kind of funny, too, with ding dong ditching? I never really understood, like now that I'm an adult, why as a kid would you ding dong ditch? Why was that so funny? I don't even know. Like, what was so funny about ding dong ditching?
I think it was the inconvenience and the thought of people walking to the door and going, where are they? I don't know. I had an older neighbor down the road that would get very angry. He knew who we were, and he knew that we were the ones doing it.
Damn kids!
Yeah, essentially.
Get off my lawn.
You'd see it in movies, and so be like, well, I'm going to try that. And then I'd do it, and then it was just not as fun as
People always say, I'm not on the super text line right now, but people always say when I bring up ding dong ditching and how we used to do it as a kid, where people are like, you don't try that on a 2A street. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's like, get shot.
See, somebody said that Mischief Night is a New Jersey thing. And
Ooh.
it is, I mean,
Can we just be honest, though, about New Jersey? Every night is Mischief Night.
Come on.
In New Jersey and New York. There's a lot of hooligans out there in New Jersey.
I lived in a sweet part of New Jersey.
Like that one block?
All of South Jersey was sweet. Still is.
Okay, whatever you say,
I
John.
swear.
Oh, listen, I believe you. You don't have to,
Yeah.
You know what?
The more I'm defensive, the less I incredible. Yeah.
She's going to, what's going to happen is Joan's going to go all Jersey girl on me.
It's going to get ugly.
That's because you're a hooligan from Jersey.
Hey, a high school rivalry went too far in Spring Hill, and now there's some arrests. Tell you about that coming up. Also, how to help those students in Helene school districts to graduate to the next grade. Those stories coming up at 6 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Well, good morning. It's now 6 o'clock, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We're at 68 with some cloudy skies right now. We are expecting some rain later on. 8 underage kids and a couple of adults under arrest in Spring Hill after a rivalry went too far. Police say those teens were spotted vandalizing homes earlier this week.
One of which resulted in a lot of eggs being thrown at a house and vehicles. A chain was wrapped around a tire. Several whistles were dropped in the yards that don't go off, that keep going.
Police speaking to News 2 there. The vandalism was done ahead of the Friday night football game between Summit High School and Independence High School. Police say neighbors were frightened and the teens caused about $1,000 in damage. The Wilson County School District is adding fencing as a new layer of protection for students and staff.
We don't want somebody coming on our grounds that, again, not supposed to be here and has ill intentions to harm our property or, again, harm someone on our property at any point of the day.
The fencing was approved for Mount Juliet Middle School, Watertown Elementary, Tucker's Crossroads Elementary, Southside Elementary, and Wilson Central High. Some of the newer schools built in Wilson County already have fencing. Meantime, what to do about students in 10 East Tennessee counties who have missed so much class time because of Hurricane Helene. Christy Brown of the State Education Department talked to WTN's Matt Murphy.
Under the law, the Commissioner of Education certainly has the authority to sign off, approve waivers for school districts, and I know that we are working directly with the leadership of those districts to make sure that we support them and be as flexible as we can under the law. And our general counsel is working really closely with them too on what those allowabilities are.
One option might be to extend the school year to make sure that students get the 180 instructional days as required under state law. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. A day after the release of a gross domestic product report that showed the economy growing at a healthy pace, the latest snapshot on the economy rolls out of Washington later today. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will release data on first-time claims for unemployment benefits later this morning. Yesterday's GDP numbers were muted on Wall Street by a lackluster batch of earnings reports from mega-cap technology companies. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gave up 91 points to close at 42,141. The S&P slipped 0.33%, while the Nasdaq Composite came down from its lofty heights to give up 0.5% on the day. The new head of Starbucks is laying out a company-wide agenda after what he called disappointing financial results. CEO Brian Niccol wants wait times cut to less than 4 minutes, and he plans to bring condiment bars back to thousands of cafes. Niccol also vowed not to raise prices over the next year. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And stock futures pointing down this morning. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Got some trouble on 24 this morning in the eastbound lanes. This is in Joelton at New Hope Road. That's exit 31. A crash has been reported by police. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
.607 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. It is Halloween, October 31st of 2024, along with Joan Jones in the newsroom. Johnny B is out this morning. He is missed, hopefully back tomorrow. Mason Fleming is in for JB. And Donald Trump, got to tell you, he had a great speech last night in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
250 million Americans are not garbage.
The former president, I think he smells blood in the water, and he's going to take advantage of it. Earlier, I was talking about CNN, and right at 5 o'clock, as they're signing on, one of their headlines there on CNN was Donald Trump trying to take advantage of Joe Biden's quip regarding half of the American people, basically Donald Trump supporters, as garbage. And Trump knows that this is an opportunity, and you're darn right well he's going to take advantage of it. He's already doing really well in this campaign. This morning's Real Clear Politics averages look even better. Georgia, Donald Trump is up 2.4%. North Carolina, Donald Trump is up 1. Pennsylvania, he is up 0.8. By the way, that is up from yesterday afternoon, where Donald Trump was up 0.6 in Pennsylvania. So he continues to grow in Pennsylvania. Arizona, Trump is up 2.5. In Michigan yesterday, Harris was up 0.5. Now she's only up by 0.4. Trump has gained some ground there. Wisconsin, you've got Harris up by 0.2. So the numbers are shifting. But of course, none of this factors in. All of the numbers that I just gave you, none of it factors into Joe Biden's comments regarding Donald Trump supporters being garbage.
This week, Kamala has been comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. And now, speaking on a call for her campaign last night, crooked Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage. No way. No way.
I mean, listen, Donald Trump is obviously right. He knows it. You know it. I know it. And so when you're called all of these other names garbage, it's like, okay, whatever. And that's kind of how I feel, whatever. I mentioned in the 5 o'clock hour, you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, my gosh, all of this faux outrage, this fake outrage by the conservatives. It's not just the one word. It's not just the garbage comment. It's all of the comments and the tone and the tenor of the Harris campaign. And it's not only the name calling, but as I explained in far more excruciating detail yesterday, it's about all of the lawfare that the Democrats have launched against Donald Trump and conservatives. It's about the 2 attempts at impeachment that the Democrats launched against Donald Trump. It's about the Mueller investigation. It's about the dirty dossier. It's about all of that stuff. By the way, did you see that ABC News actually cornered Kamala Harris and asked her about all of this?
You are promising to bring people together, even people you disagree with. You say, well, have a seat at the table. How do you convince Trump supporters of that, though, when you're calling their candidate a would-be dictator, a petty tyrant?
I am talking to everyone as an American.
Really? I'm talking to everyone as an American. You know, she's bobbing her head like she does. You keep calling Donald Trump supporters names. And so what's great is that maybe this comment by Joe Biden has now really drawn out the fact that the name calling has been incredibly impactful. And Biden's garbage comment, really, maybe it was the last straw that broke the camel's back. And it's funny because I love how ABC is like, do you think maybe all of the name calling is really, you know, the exact opposite of what you're calling for, which is unity? And it's like, yeah, it is, ABC. Welcome to what talk radio has been saying for, you know, months, if not years now, actually. So Kamala's campaign came out and said, we're not going to lose a single voter because of this. And that remains to be seen. But honestly, Kamala's voters, they're used to this kind of rhetoric from Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. CBS, by the way, I just played you some audio of ABC cornering Kamala Harris and asking her the question. Tim Walz got roughly the same question from CBS.
I want to get your reaction to the president's comments, but I want to put it into a larger context of your recent comment comparing the Sunday Trump rally to a Nazi rally.
Yep.
And I would also throw in there Obama's bitter clingers, guns and religion comment from a while back, the deplorable line from Hillary Clinton's campaign, and the way that Democrats are seen by some voters as disrespecting them. And I have to ask, does that undercut this closing message of unity from your campaign?
You know, I'll get to Walz's response in a minute, but you know, I find it funny. You find it funny that the media is covering this the way that they are because oftentimes they're right in the scrum of the name calling and the nasty comments about Donald Trump and his supporters. How many members of the media played right into that whole, Donald Trump is holding a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden? How many members of the media have basically stood by and allowed Kamala Harris to say, uninterrupted and with no evidence, all of these nasty things about Donald Trump and his supporters? The media have facilitated and placated all of that, allowing Tim Walz, allowing Kamala Harris, allowing the Democrat operatives to say all of these nasty things, and the media never calls them out on it. So they've been, my opinion, just as darn guilty as Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. We all know that the name calling that we've endured, the slurs and the insults, does Biden's garbage comments, will they impact Harris's final talking point of unity? That was the question presented to Tim Walz. This is what he said.
No, certainly not. And for Tony, for me, I've represented rural areas. I've represented Democrats, Republicans, independents. Same thing with the vice president. Look, you saw a presidential speech last night at the Ellipse that is the best of America, one that's talking about unifying us, one that's talking about bringing folks to the table, one that the American tradition of disagreeing and debating, but still doing it in a respectful manner. And I think there's the frustration we've seen since January 6th, the frustration with Donald Trump's rhetoric of division. It does fire passions. And I think President Biden was very clear that he's speaking about the rhetoric. We heard it that, so it doesn't undermine it. People are hungry to come back together. They're hungry to find a unifying message. They're hungry for us to find solutions, whether it's prices or whether it's reproductive care. They want to see solutions.
All right. Well, they want to see solutions. Donald Trump is the guy that had the solution to a better economy. He had the solution to a secure border. He had the solution to lower crime. And so if you really want to talk about unifying, I've got a unifying message for you, and it's coming up next. It is 6:15 on Nashville's Morning News. Time to check the roads on WTN. Time to check the roads on WTN. Very good. Weather today, mostly cloudy until about 3, 4, or 5 o'clock this afternoon when rain is going to come in following some clouds. And so watch for the trick-or-treating today, maybe to be impacted tonight right around 4 or 5 o'clock. We'll keep you updated right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So Kamala Harris and Tim Walz and others within the realm of the Democrat Party and the Biden administration, they're talking about and defending or trying to sort of sort of get away from Joe Biden's comments regarding Donald Trump supporters being garbage. And you just heard Tim Walz, and he's talking about how Kamala Harris's her speech there at the Ellipse was very uniting. It really wasn't. I mean, I hope you listened to my show yesterday, because it was anything but. There was comment after comment after comment after comment demonizing Donald Trump. And it's not just the regular demonizing about how, his policy is different than mine. They continue down the road of how Trump is this, air quoting, threat to democracy. And so Trump, I mean, if you're just joining us, he did a couple of great things yesterday. Number one is he shows up, and this is classic Donald Trump, because he shows up for a rally and a bit of a press conference, and he is in a garbage truck.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
And that is what, of course, Joe Biden said, and Donald Trump is responding.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
I mean, it's just amazing. If you think about the last couple of days, there's a really funny meme. And the meme was, if you just woke up out of a 2-year coma, you would find out that Donald Trump was arrested, that Donald Trump had not one but 2 assassination attempts, that Donald Trump was serving fries at McDonald's, and he was in a garbage truck. I mean, think about that. Think about what Donald Trump has gone through, and all of us as supporters of Trump have gone through for the last couple of years. So if you want to talk about unifying messages, I would say to Tim Walz, there is nothing, absolutely nothing unifying about the Ellipse speech. But you know what? Donald Trump had a very uniting message after he was in that dump truck and after he put on a garbage person's work vest, which he wore throughout the evening.
Joe Biden's comments were the direct result of Kamala's decision to portray everyone who isn't voting for her, which is a lot of people, as evil and subhuman. And we know it's really what they believe, because look at how they've treated you. They treat you like garbage. They treat our whole country like garbage, with open borders, with all of the horrible things they've done to hurt our country, inflation that should have never happened.
Yep.
Allowing Russia to go into Ukraine, October 7th, and Israel. All of these things would have never happened if you had a different president.
Man's not wrong. And again, to repeat the point, there's some in the media that are talking about all of this outrage, and it is faux outrage over the garbage comment. And here's what I would say. Again, it's not really about the garbage. It's about all of the comments.
They've bullied you. They've demonized us. They've censored us. They've deplatformed us. And they weaponized the power of our own government against all of us. They've taken your money. They've thrown open your borders to criminals and terrorists. They've flooded your towns with deadly drugs and death. They're incompetent people. They've given your jobs to illegal migrants and sent our blood and treasure to fight in stupid foreign wars where the countries don't even know who we are and where we've never heard of the country.
Remember, when it comes to Americans being unified, you know what we really are unified in? Americans are unified in the fact that Joe Biden's administration has been a disaster. That is bipartisan. If you look at the polling, I mean, there's no reason to go into depth. Everyone knows that when it comes to the issues, Joe Biden is on the losing end, as is his vice president and his border czar, Kamala Harris. And you know, it's crazy because social media seems to force the discussion, right? Have you noticed this? I noticed this really the last couple of days. Since Joe Biden did the whole garbage comment, the media is sort of begrudgingly covering this because of the fact that it went so incredibly viral. Now, Frank Luntz, you've heard me talk about him before. He is an incredibly influential pollster. He was on CNN, and you should have seen the look on the faces of the CNNers, the anchors, when he said this. He was on CNN, And he said, yeah, the White House and Democrats and some in the media, they're trying to downplay or tamp down all of this actual outrage. But let's be honest, he says, this could be crushing for the campaign. They asked Frank Luntz, one of the more influential pollsters out there, and they said, will this actually have an impact?
But I wonder if you think that those comments are going to move voters.
It's going to be huge because this is not some comedian saying something stupid and offensive at a rally where he should have been basically disinvited. This is the President of the United States endorsing his vice president saying something, and I know that there's different interpretations about what he said. It's still inappropriate. He still shouldn't be doing it. And I've watched Trump already seize this. The basket of deplorables was significant, was meaningful in 2016. In 2024, I can promise you that this is going to drive Trump turnout. He's doing it already. I can see, I'm sure there's going to be ads on as soon as tonight about this. This may be a turning point for those final 3%, and that's all it is, who still need to be persuaded.
Well, we'll have to see what happens. It is 6:22 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Joan Jones is here. Joan, what's coming up?
Why Elon Musk is being hauled into court today. Also, looks like the economy is taking a toll on one of America's biggest companies. Those stories coming up at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 6:22. Why do I love Brentwood Jewelry? Because they can help you with whatever jewelry needs you have. From watches to rings and bracelets and necklaces and so much more, Brentwood Jewelry can help you. No matter the reason or the season, the holidays are coming up, they can help you find the perfect gift no matter your budget. They can also customize pieces for you as well. So if you're looking for the absolute perfect ring and you can't find it, well, Brentwood Jewelry, they can build it for you. Now, they're also Nashville's premier timepiece dealer as well. You need to find a great watch at a reasonable price. Your answer is Brentwood Jewelry. And every watch comes with a 2-year warranty. Shop in store or online, 7012 Church Street East in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. As always, tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. These folks, they're great supporters of the radio station. They're great supporters of you. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. Exceptional styles, exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Online, BrentwoodJewelry.com.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
And look, Donald Trump's not done.
Good morning. It is now 6:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Currently, we're at 68 degrees. We are expecting some rain later on for your Halloween. We'll check that forecast for you coming up. A Pennsylvania judge has moved up a hearing from tomorrow to today in the lawsuit filed against Elon Musk's PAC that's been giving away $1 million a day to voters who sign a petition supporting the Constitution.
Philadelphia's District Attorney Larry Krasner is suing to stop Elon Musk and his PAC's $1 million giveaway sweepstakes. In a filing Wednesday, the DA asked the judge overseeing the case case to increase security, saying Musk's post about the case on his social media platform X has triggered responses that include anti-Semitic attacks against the DA and another account that invites political violence. ABC News has reached out to Musk's team for comment. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Something to celebrate in Tennessee. The State Department of Education saying the state keeps graduating more students year over year. The 23-24 rate is a state record at 92.1%. The previous record was the 22-23 rate of 90.6%. Trouble at Pepsi. The company plans to close 4 bottling plants and lay off nearly 400 workers. As part of its efforts to streamline its operations, PepsiCo has lowered its sales forecast for the year as consumers in the U.S. and China pull back on buying drinks and snacks after years of price hikes. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Dow futures pointing down 203 points this morning. NASDAQ futures down 168. The S&P futures losing 40. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 632 on Super Talk 99.7 and Nashville's Morning News. Get in the fight. We don't have to wait until November 5th to start taking our country back. We can get in the fight right now with Coin, the conservatives' credit card. Instead of funneling millions of dollars to the left like other cards do, Coin advances conservative values and charities. Earn cash back while fighting back. Apply right now at coin.com. Watch the spelling. It's with a G. COIGN, coin.com. Terms apply. Go to coin.com/disclosures for details. COIGN, coin.com. Your conservative values credit card.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy in the middle of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. We've talked so much about Savory Spice. I thought, why not show you the place? So let's go on in and see what's popping at Savory Spice. As I've always said, you will smell the spices even before you walk in. I can smell them right here in the doorway. Come on in and let's introduce you to the one and only Holly, who is the owner and proprietor of Savory Spice. Say hey, Holly.
Hello, everyone.
Now, enough about Holly. Let's talk about spicy and easy products like the incredible taco soup, which, as I said, you put this in a crock pot, you put all the ingredients that it tells you to buy right there, you put the spices in, and it's so easy. So if you don't know what you're doing around the kitchen, it's a perfect way to find your way around the kitchen, as is the Mediterranean dill risotto. Now, for the holidays, pumpkin pie spice. What doesn't it have, Holly?
Pumpkin.
Doesn't have any pumpkin in it. That's a fun fact for all of you kids out there. Now, if you stop by Savory Spice, either in the Franklin location or at L&L Market, you can get yourself a sample of the dill dip, which is my absolute favorite. Just tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice with purchase now. So come by Franklin or L&L Market in Nashville and come see Holly and the entire crew at Savory Spice.
It's a crash this morning, Cedar Hill. It's on 24, the eastbound lanes past Maxey Road. That's exit 19. Also on 65, southbound lanes in Madison, a crash, and the right shoulder is blocked off at Old Hickory Boulevard, exit 92. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.637 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. By the way, today is the last day to vote early here in the state of Tennessee. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Now, I know that there's a lot of hate listeners out there, and bless your hearts. I'm gonna play an audio bite, and it begs me to ask a question. I guess you'd say it begs the question: does truth even matter anymore? Like, this is a question specifically for the hate listeners. I got a number of different questions for the hate listeners. But first, this is Kamala Harris last night. Here's what she said.
And look, Donald Trump's not done. He would ban abortion nationwide. Yes, even here in Pennsylvania, if he were successful. He would restrict access to birth control, put IVF treatments at risk, and force states to monitor women's pregnancies. Just Google Project 2025. Read the plans for yourself. And let us agree, one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government shouldn't be telling people what to do.
See, I hate when they do that. I hate when politicians get into your faith.
Well, here's the thing, though. Number one, anybody else find it ironic that Kamala Harris, the vice president who was on board with Joe Biden's vaccine mandates, has the flippin' gall to say the government shouldn't be telling you what to do?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. Do you hear yourself?
Yeah.
That's number one. But my message to the hate listeners is this. Jeremy, if you're listening, please enlighten me. Please enlighten me. Super text line, I'm on it, 615-737-9986.
Jeremiah.
Is it Jeremiah?
Yeah, it was Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. So please tell me, each one of those comments that Kamala made is false. It is just flat out false. I mean, all of those. Donald Trump does not want to ban abortion nationwide. He's come out in favor, of course, of IVF. I mean, I could go on and on. He's not out there telling states to monitor women who are pregnant. All of these things are lies. They're not false. They're blatant lies. This whole Agenda 2025. That is blatantly false, and the Kamala campaign knows that it's blatantly false. Here's my question. Does the truth even matter anymore? Because all of these are false, and you've got all of these Kamala bots, and they're saying, oh, yeah, boo on Donald Trump. Did they know that all this is false, too?
They don't care. I don't think they care.
I mean, she's been busing these same poor people from town to town. And so they've heard the same lies over and over again ad nauseum. And they know exactly when they're supposed to boo and exactly when they're supposed to go, oh, yay. You know what I mean? But all of these things are false. But my question is this to the hate listeners. Is there a lie that Donald Trump has told on the and I want to be I want to be bipartisan in this? Is there a lie that Donald Trump has told about Kamala Harris on the campaign trail? Has there been a lie that Trump has told where it is to that blatant that we just heard? Because he's been talking about the economy. He's been talking about the border. He's been speaking about crime. All of these, and even when Donald Trump has been challenged, and I'm going to air quote this, fact-checked by David Muir, when they said, oh, no, crime is not up. And then it turned out Donald Trump was right.
Yeah.
So is there, and I, honest to goodness, let me go back to the super text line, because I do want to know, has there been a lie that Donald Trump has told, a blatant lie? Because, I mean, Joan, you know this as well as I do, is that there are different ways to look at statistics. So, for example, you can have one politician and one organization and one economist that will say, oh, look at these numbers, they're great, if his party is in office. And then you can have somebody else look at the same numbers and they'll say, oh, this is terrible, if it's not his party in office. You know what I mean? So there's different ways to interpret and manage numbers in the economy based on your narrative. But I don't think that Donald Trump has told a blatant lie about Kamala Harris. Are you looking at the super text line?
I'm also, just coincidentally, I'm also watching CNN right now. So something you talked about earlier, and maybe this isn't a lie, but it's more like deception. They have somebody on right now who's saying that that phrase that Donald Trump used last night, that he's going to protect women whether they like it or not, they're relating it to abortion. Oh, that means he's going to protect women from abortion.
That's a blatant lie.
It's outright
That is a
crazy.
blatant lie.
It's crazy.
Okay, well, but people didn't hear this before.
Yeah.
So, will I go through this again? Can you just, because I genuinely want to know. I genuinely want to know, is there a lie that Donald Trump has told about Kamala Harris that is akin to the lies that Kamala Harris has said about Donald Trump? Because everything she says about Trump, by and large, is either a lie, an exaggeration, or an obfuscation. We can all debate till we're blue in the face about January 6th, but I'm not even talking about that. I mean, she will go on and on about Trump, and all of these different things that she says are all demonstrably and provably false. Now, I got to find it. Donald Trump was speaking last night, and he was in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and he was talking about women and Trump wanting to protect women. This is Donald Trump, and he's talking about protecting the women in this country, and listen to where he says whether the women like it or not.
And my people told me about 4 weeks ago, I was saying, no, I want to protect the people. I want to protect the women of our country. I want to protect the women. Sir, please don't say that. Why? They said, we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. I said, why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country. They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say. I pay these guys a lot of money. Can you believe it? I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in. I'm going to protect them from foreign countries that want to hit us with missiles and lots of other things.
Right. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying that a president wants to protect women. I mean, whether they like it or not, he's directly referring, I'm assuming, to the women who are voting for Kamala Harris. But he does, as president. Joe Biden wouldn't know this. Kamala Harris wouldn't know this. But a president, it's one of their biggest duties is to protect the people of America. So this is, to what Joan was saying, this is something that the Harris campaign put out. I did play it in the last hour. But this is how they deceptively edited that comment, and they put this out onto their socials. Come on, man. Don't fail me now, computer. Well,
it's been a challenging week around here for computers.
Yeah, I know. Well, the bottom line is they took his audio bite where he said, going to protect women, whether they like it or not or whatever. And the audio would tell it if the computer was working. But on the side of the post, it says that Donald Trump says that he'll monitor women's abortions, whether they like it or not. Completely. And I mean, completely takes it out of context.
And what fascinates me, what infuriates me, is the coordination between what the Kamala Harris campaign says, and then you immediately see it on CNN. You immediately see it on MSNBC because they're parroting whatever the candidate says, the Democratic candidate says, they're going to parrot it. They're just going to say whatever the candidate says.
You know what it's like? It's like they get their talking points every morning.
Every morning they get them in an email.
This is how the Kamala Harris campaign deceptively edited Donald Trump's comments.
They said, sir, I just think it's inappropriate for you to say. I said, well, I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. Whether the women
and again,
like it or
on
not.
the side of the graph, it says that he'll monitor women's abortions and something to that effect. So it's just, it's all lies and obfuscations.
So Texter 8856 said something that is really, really true.
Yeah.
That we can't say that Trump doesn't lie because he likes to embellish. But embellishment is not lying. He does love to embellish, and you know
he does
that.
embellish. Absolutely, he embellishes.
But a lot of times you can tell when he's embellishing because he's goofing on something, or he's intentionally trying to embellish.
But when he talks about specifically the issues, when he talks about Kamala Harris specifically, and he talks about his two big points, the economy and immigration, I mean, quite frankly, he doesn't have to lie. Because the facts are really bad, and everybody knows that they're bad. Yeah, Trump does like to embellish. I'll give that texter props for that. Trump is an embellisher. He's a storyteller. I've actually always said that about Donald Trump. But when it comes to these issues, when it comes to the nature of the lies that Kamala Harris is telling, I mean, I don't know if he has told such blatant lies that Harris is doing. Running late, 6:46, time to check the roads on WTN. Very good. At 6:48 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. As far as your Halloween weather, mostly cloudy today until about 5 o'clock. Rain is going to come in around 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's going to last pretty much off and on throughout the evening. So it will impact your trick-or-treating. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You know, it's interesting, Joan, that we're talking about Donald Trump and his uncanny ability to embellish, which he does. Steve Bannon shares his advice for Donald Trump to win the election. Of course, we know that he's been locked up for 4 months, courtesy of Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats. And so a lot of people have been talking about, what Steve Bannon has to say now to Donald Trump. One of the first calls that Bannon made was to Donald Trump. And neither of these two men are talking about what was discussed. But here's what the Daily Mail says. They had an exclusive interview with Steve Bannon, and Bannon says this is what Donald Trump needs to do to win. Steve Bannon has advice for Trump on how to win the election. He says, keep doing your thing. That's what Bannon says. Keep doing your thing. Be yourself and make sure that outside groups maintain a fierce focus on getting out the vote. He says, I would tell President Trump, continue, do your rallies. He told the Daily Mail in an interview, do what you do, just be yourself, you're authentic. And I think that we would all agree that Kamala Harris is not authentic. And so Trump, he says, just be yourself, let your staff and those outside groups really power through the next 5, 6, 7 days and get as many people to try to vote by and on November 5th. And again, today is the last day of early voting here in the state of Tennessee. So if you haven't done it, I would highly recommend it. Don't listen to that guy, Chris Hand. Well, I mean, listen to Chris, 9 to 12. Just don't listen to him when he talks about how he's not going to early vote. Because I'm a big proponent of early voting. By the way, Brad Todd is a political analyst over at CNN. He's been working in politics a long time. And he said, and I love this, and he's absolutely right, that Kamala's rally in Washington, D.C. on the ellipse was clearly not smart.
I plan political events for a living, and I think this was political malpractice to put her in front of this White House. 68% of Americans think that the country's on the wrong track, and they blame Joe Biden, and increasingly they're blaming Kamala Harris. By standing in front of that White House tonight, she's going to own all 68% of that disapproval.
Yep.
And, you know, I think it's a comfort reason. I think Northwest Washington, D.C. is about her best precinct in America. Everybody likes her there. She should have been in the Union Lodge in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh tonight. That would have done her a lot more good. And I also don't think that she did a lot for Nikki Haley voters. They've talked a lot this week about that they were going after Haley voters. And I think the Haley voters had to be looking at this as like a Christmas present they opened up and it was socks. You know, they got nothing new from her, nothing that wasn't in her convention speech, frankly. And I don't think this moves the ball for her here at the end.
Nope. And I think that there's a lot of folks that would agree, and especially when you couple that with Joe Biden's garbage comment. By the way, Joan, people are making fun of me. Earlier, this is where I make fun of myself.
Yeah.
Real quick. So here's the deal with me. I had a friend who was a female who was an honest-to-goodness garbage collector. And so every time I come upon the word garbage man, I'm like, am I supposed to say garbage man? So earlier in one of my fits of what am I supposed to say,
yeah,
I threw down garbage person.
Oh, see.
And people are laughing at me because I said garbage person. If you're a female garbage, I don't know where that person is now, but if you're like a female garbage
collector,
I guess I could say garbage collector, couldn't I?
You could.
So if you're a woman, though, is it offensive if somebody says garbage man? Do we have any ladies that are garbage collectors out there? Like, is it offensive to you if I say garbage man, like, accidentally? Because, you know, I don't want to offend garbage collectors.
Yeah.
That are female. I mean.
Seriously, I mean, it's probably a whole group of people.
We have garbage collectors who listen to this show. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'll get a super text.
I'm sure we do.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, man, listening, collecting garbage and listening.
Oh, I love it.
Garbage collectors for Trump. Absolutely. All right. 6:53 on WTN. Joan Jones has the news, and Joan, what's coming up at 7?
Well, the news person says.
I knew you were going to go down that road. I knew you were going to do it.
I'm the news chick.
Absolutely.
Los Angeles is a mess this morning. We're going to tell you what's happening there. Also, charges filed now in that shooting inside a Spring Hill Target store. And you may be surprised about this one. Those stories coming up at 7 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you very much, Joan. And it is 6:54 now on WTN. Here we are. It's Halloween, last day of October. But here's the deal. Busy Bee continues to celebrate by giving you some great deals on your HVAC and plumbing. Now, Busy Bee, they are your Rude Pro partners, and yes, they are giving you 50% off of a furnace inspection and 20% off of any furnace repair work at the time of service. How about $300 off of an ultraviolet home treatment system installation? And don't forget the Beehive Club. As a Beehive member, you'll receive 3 annual tune-ups, 1 cooling, 1 heating, and 1 plumbing. Plus 10% on all repairs, priority front-of-the-line service, no overtime or holiday fees, and so much more. All for as little as $99. I've been a Beehive member for years, friends, and I can tell you it is well worth the investment. Now, also, I've been a client of Busy Bee for a long time. Now, they've installed new systems for me. They've fixed an old one. They've maintained all of my units as well. Outstanding customer service, and simply put, they do great work. For satisfaction guaranteed, called Busy Bee HVAC, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com.
The dual power of radio and digital advertising on Super Talk 99.7 WTN has always delivered for our local advertisers. Now's your chance to book your 2025 marketing campaign early for savings and incentives. Just reach out today to your local ad representative or go to 997wtn.com/epic.
Well, good morning. It is now 7:01, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We're at 69 degrees, cloudy skies right now, rain arriving just in time for trick-or-treating. Yeah, we've got that forecast coming up for you in a couple of minutes. If you plan to cast your vote before Election Day, this is the day to do it. It's your last day to do early voting. For those who choose to vote on Election Day, all major bus systems in the state are offering free rides to the polls. In Davidson County, all WeGo routes are free on Election Day. Same goes for Franklin Transit Authority and the Clarksburg Transit System. Also, Uber and Lyft both have 50% off fares for Election Day rides to polling sites. So is your phone being bombed with texts asking for donations for political candidates? The Better Business Bureau says some of those texts may be scams.
If they start to ask for information like your date of birth or your social security number, you can be pretty sure that is a scam and you do not want to engage with those people.
Yeah, best way to contribute to your favorite candidates, go directly to their website. The woman who fired a shot inside a Spring Hill Target store last week says she did so out of self-defense. Police say that woman and another woman got into an argument in the Halloween section of the store. Police say the woman who fired the shot has not been charged. The other woman has been charged with assault. Celebrations over the Dodgers winning the World Series turned ugly last night.
The Dodgers were down 5-0 in the fifth and trailed by a run in the eighth before a sacrifice fly from Mookie Betts capped one of the biggest comebacks in World Series history. Word of the Dodgers' 7-6 victory spread through Los Angeles. But celebration turned to violence and looting as ABC's Chris Christie watched from a helicopter.
There have been a number of getaway vehicles waiting for the merchandise to walk out. They stuff the trunks, they get in the car, and they drive away. We've seen
No word on arrests or injuries. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Subway is being sued over its sandwiches. It's a class action lawsuit that says customers are given sandwiches that look nothing like the photo on the menu board. Those customers saying the photos show at least 3 times more meat in the sandwich than what's actually in the product. That suit was filed in New York. Market Numbers Report brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Dow futures minus 203 right now. NASDAQ futures losing 156, and the S&P futures are down 37 points. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Wow, some trouble spots now. Let's see, on 24 eastbound lanes past MLK Parkway. This is in Clarksville. Exit 11, a crash there. Also one on 24 eastbound at Whites Creek Place, Whites Creek Pike, make that, and in Joelton. And then 40 westbound at Spence Lane, a crash that blocks the HOV lane. 24 westbound lanes, a crash in Woodbine, exit 53. An injury crash in North Nashville, Dickerson Pike at I-65, and Dickerson Pike southbound lanes at Briley Parkway. Also a crash in that spot. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
.708 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends, along with Joan Jones. Johnny B's out today. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. Mason Fleming is in for Johnny, and just having some fun today. Last day for early voting here in the state of Tennessee. Do you think, Joan, if I speak to Chris Hand, firmly and maybe send him a text in all caps to go and early vote today, do you think he would do it? Do you think he would listen to his old friend Dan? Probably not. I don't think he would either, but that's okay. There's a lot of reasons to vote early. A lot of reasons to vote early. Number one, the hijinks and shenanigans. I've got a couple of stories coming up at 7:36. I'm going to tell you about the latest that's going on, hijinks and shenanigans going on in Michigan. Have you heard what's going on in Michigan? Pennsylvania as well. We've got some stories from there as well. Just some craziness that has been going on as far as voting goes. Now, the good news is that, as far as we know, some of these things have been caught by the Republicans, and these things are getting fixed, they say. A headline from CNN, Harris distances herself from Biden's garbage comment. Donald Trump, I got to tell you, there's a lot of things going on today in the world. Earlier, we were talking about the lies of Kamala Harris. And I don't want to go backwards too much, but I mean, with our entire super text line and all of the haters that we have on the super text line, not one person came with the lie that Donald Trump has told about Kamala Harris that is equal to the lies that Kamala Harris has said about Donald Trump. And I think that's because we all know that for the majority of America, this administration has been a train wreck. And I got to ask the question, do issues, we are 5 days out. So I got a little excited. We're 5 days out. I'm really looking forward to November 5th. But we're 5 days out. If you don't know the issues by now, then I don't know what to tell you. Cringe Jean-Pierre, talking about the Biden administration and Kamala Harris, and everybody's trying to, do damage control. I wish I had my sweeping sound effect. They're trying to sweep this whole thing under the rug, where Biden said what he said about Donald Trump supporters. And that question was asked of Cringe Jean-Pierre, because as you can imagine, this is something that she's going to have to deal with. And, it's interesting to kind of watch her try to dance around all of this, because she doesn't really cop to the fact that Joe Biden said what he said, which is really not real surprising, because did you really think that they were going to admit as to what Joe Biden actually said. They've been trying to, sort of, what's the right word? Manipulate the official transcript as well. Now, if you're just joining us, because that's what the Democrats do, they lie. If you're just joining us, Donald Trump did the ultimate troll yesterday. What do you think is a bigger troll? Trump going to McDonald's to serve French fries to prove that he's worked at McDonald's longer than Kamala Harris has, because she still hasn't been able to prove that she worked at McDonald's. Apparently, there's no tax documents or anything related to her time at McDonald's, but Donald Trump has spent more time in McDonald's than Harris has. But what is the bigger troll?
This one is.
You think this one is?
You know why? It's just that they spent time planning the whole McDonald's thing,
Yep.
and he appeared there. And of course, there were just a bajillion people lining the streets. This one was super organic. I mean, it was blown up within a day.
It absolutely was. Well, we got to tell people what happened, because
Yeah,
there are
go
some
ahead.
people that are just waking up and just tuning in to Nashville's Morning News, where Donald Trump responding
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
responding to Joe Biden's comment with a massive, massive statement of his own as he arrived yesterday for a press conference and a rally in a dump truck.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
So he shows up in this massive garbage truck. He's in the passenger seat, and he's answering questions in a garbage truck. And it's got massive American flags on it. On the side, it says, I think, Trump, Vance, make America great again, whatever it is. But I mean, it really was a great moment. And so the media, and one of my favorite videos out there is, and there's really no audio to it except for Wolf Blitzer throwing it. Breaking news on CNN. He throws it to Donald Trump saying, we've got breaking news now. Donald Trump is addressing the media. And Trump is in this garbage truck. It is just, it really is awesome. So I think you're probably right, Joan. As far as presidential trolling goes, this belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
now,
for sure.
Last night, once he got to the rally, he is also wearing a vest, a garbage sanitation engineer is what people are telling me to say.
Yeah.
A sanitation engineer's vest. And it's like, is it yellow or orange? It's been a few hours and I'm extraordinarily tired.
Kind of that day glow red.
Yeah, kind of day glow red. And he's got his tie on underneath. It's awesome. And he spends the entire rally, a couple of hours talking to the people of Green Bay, Wisconsin, wearing this sanitation engineer's vest. And he talked a little bit about how the whole garbage truck thing came about.
Thank you very much. So this outfit, is when he called us all garbage. How stupid. What a stupid word. That blows deplorable away, don't you think? Of course, I thought irredeemable when she said deplorable or irredeemable. I thought irredeemable was actually worse, but deplorable seemed to catch up. But this garbage stuff blows it away. So I'm in this beautiful plane. I'm enjoying myself. I have a wonderful suit on. And one of my people came in and said, sir, the word garbage is the hottest thing right now out there. The hottest thing out there. Sir, would you like to drive a garbage truck?
Great storytelling. Just great.
Now, we're about, 30 minutes from landing. We had to do this pretty quick. I said, it's sort of cool, though, isn't it? Because, they pulled up this garbage truck. I don't know how the hell they did it so fast. I have very capable people.
Yeah.
They put a big sign on the truck. Did you see it? I think they showed it. Yeah.
And again, the thing that I love is that with this, Joan, is that Trump is authentic.
Yes.
He is so authentic. He's telling a great story. And meantime, I'm not going to play any Kamala audio right now, but, Harris is telling the same damn lies that she has been telling for months now. And she is telling the same exact speech. I mean, right down to the way that she says specific sentences. It's the same words. It's the same everything. It's just like it's on the teleprompter, and they haven't updated the teleprompter in months.
Yesterday, I noticed, and you probably noticed the same thing, when one of the reporters that talked to her on the tarmac at Andrews Air Force Base, they asked her, where does this whole Joe Biden calling Trump voters garbage fit in? And she said, I don't agree with people being judged by who they vote for. When I was a DA, I never asked people who they voted for. I only asked them if they're okay. That must have been the 10,000th time I've heard her use that line. They're not giving her any fresh material.
No.
They're not doing her any good. They're not helping her at all.
I don't know. I think, to be perfectly honest, I'm wondering if the Democrat Party has just abandoned her. Because this whole thing, whether it is Joe Biden calling Trump supporters garbage, or if it's Kamala Harris and just her clear inability to campaign and relate to people and be likable, I think that there's a lot of people in that party that has basically abandoned Kamala Harris. By the way, the storytelling with Donald Trump does continue, and that is coming up next. It is 7:16. Time to check the roads on WTN. Mostly cloudy today until about 5. Rain is going to start coming into the picture, and that is going to start around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's going to basically continue into the evening. So, yes, trick-or-treating will be impacted. High today is 78. Right now, 65 degrees at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Trump, of course, relating to his Green Bay audience, his supporters, that his big worry trying to get into this big dump truck, this big garbage truck, was that the stairs, they were really high.
I climbed into the truck, but so I said, how the hell do you get into this truck? It's way up high. It's a big one. This was a beauty. I said, you didn't have to buy it that big, right? You have to get it that big? They brought this brand new, gorgeous truck, wonderful driver. He looked like Cary Grant in his prime. You know who that is? This beautiful driver. And he drove that big thing up. And I said,
By the way, there's great pictures of Donald Trump and his garbage truck, his dump truck driver. And they're just clearly having a good old time. Again, Kamala Harris, not relatable. Donald Trump hanging out and having a good time with the driver of that garbage truck.
I said, man, this is bad, because now I have all the cameras are all watching. Look at all the fake news. They were, most of them. Many of them were there, and I'm saying, oh, boy. One little mistake with these guys and your political career's over. You can't even. So I said, man, if I don't get up there, this is going to be very embarrassing. These stupid people, they'll say, he's cognitively and physically impaired. So the first stair is like up here. I'm saying, shit.
Really high.
So I had the adrenaline going, and I made it.
I mean, just a great story. A great story. The crowd eating up this story, and they just love it. And then he goes on to explain why exactly it was that he continued to wear the garbage man vest on stage.
And then I got in the car, and I'm driving over here, and I have this still on. And I come into the arena, and I say, where's my jacket? I want to get out of this thing. And they said, it would be unbelievable if you could wear it on stage. I said, and I said, no way. I got 25,000 people standing outside. I got all these people here. There's no way I'm wearing it on stage. They said, oh, okay, sir. I said, get me my jacket. But if you did, it actually makes you look thinner. I said, And they got me. I said, I want to wear it on stage.
There you go.
When they said I look thinner, I said, in that case.
You got to love it. I mean, Donald Trump just having great time with the audience, relating the story about why he was wearing the sanitation engineer uniform, how the whole garbage truck thing went down. And I love that Donald Trump, as you have all of these folks on the left sort of hand-wringing as they talk about Donald Trump, quote, capitalizing on Joe Biden's garbage comment. Boy, you're absolutely right. You know, it's interesting, and I don't mean to make my entire show about CNN and the headlines on CNN, but I love the fact that right now they're talking about Russian disinformation and Russian disinformation operations. And they're talking about the Russians interfering with our election with deceptive videos. Here's what I'm going to say to that, and I'm not dismissing the Russians by any stretch of the imagination, but here's the deal, is that there was nothing disinformation-y about Joe Biden's use of the word garbage as he is describing Donald Trump supporters. That was not disinformation, nor was it disinformation when Trump pulls up in a garbage truck or goes through an entire campaign stop wearing a sanitation engineer's uniform. There's nothing about that. So if the Democrats are going to sit here and try to say, well, Trump won, and we don't know if he's going to win, you got to vote. Last day of early voting today. But you can't sit here and say, oh, Donald Trump, he won because of the Russians' disinformation. Au contraire. He won because the reality of the situation is that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and their band of blundering fools simply can't do anything right, including run the country. 7:23, and we've got Joan Jones coming up with the news at 7:30.
A high school rivalry gone too far, why police have made some arrests in Spring Hill. Also evidence that voters are still feeling the pinch of the economy, even though the government says it's better. We've got those stories coming up at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you very much, Joan. 7:24 on Nashville's Morning News. I want to tell you about my friends at the Glock store. Today is the last day they're going to do this great contest that they've been doing, the Halloween-themed course, the Halloween Shoot House. They've got smoke and they've got displays, and I went and did it. It is a lot of fun. You go in, you shoot for 90 seconds, you see how you do on the Halloween-themed course. It is a competition. You can actually, if you decide that you want to try it, it's a competition, and you can actually win a Glock. Now, this is what I love about the Glock store. One of many things is that they've got these massive rooms that you can do this in. A lot of us have been to the lane ranges over the years, and if you've been to a lane range, you know that they're really limited. What the Glock store does is so unique because you can train in their massive rooms. Yes, the same rooms that they're doing the Halloween Shoot House in. They're really big. You can move around. You can shoot in the dark and, around corners and all of that kind of stuff. It is a lot of fun. So if you get a chance to do some training, if you need a new gun, you've got to go to my place, the Glock store. It's been my place for a couple of years now. Find them online at shoot270.com. That is shoot270.com. Have a lot of fun. Maybe win a gun. The Glock store, minutes from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere.
help identifying people that were in this.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
Good morning. It is 7:30 now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We currently have 69 degrees and lots of clouds. Those clouds will turn into rain later on today. We've got the forecast coming up. Police in Spring Hill say a high school football rivalry got out of hand this week when a group of teens vandalized some homes with fireworks, eggs, and loud whistles. It's all about the Friday night football game between Summit and Independence high schools.
There's a fine line between good, clean fun and scaring the whole neighborhood.
Spring Hill Police Lieutenant Michael Foster talking to News 2. Their 8 minors have been charged along with 2 adults. U.S. Marshals now on a nationwide manhunt for Nicholas Hamlet, who's wanted for murder in Polk County. Hamlet is thought to be the caller who alerted police to a hiker that had been injured after falling from a cliff while running from a bear. But that story, police believe, is not true. They believe it's a case of murder. Hamlet is still on the run.
An arrest warrant has been issued for Mr. Nicholas Wayne Hamlet
for first-degree murder out of Monroe County, Tennessee. Mr. Hamlet is considered to be armed, and he is considered to be highly dangerous.
DA for the 10th District in Tennessee, Steve Hatchett there. His office is offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to Hamlet's capture. Well, there was more good news on the economy yesterday. Consumer confidence is growing, more jobs added to the economy, wages are up too. But it's clear that voters aren't feeling it.
Analysts say those wages aren't making up for years of rising costs. Food prices, while stabilizing, are still 25% higher compared to the last presidential election. Gas, although down in the last year, is still nearly $1 more per gallon than during the pandemic in 2020. And the monthly mortgage payment on a typical home has nearly doubled since 2020 to nearly $2,200.
That's Andrea Fujii from ABC. Stock futures are pointing sharply down today. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 7:33 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. Now is the time to call my friends at Cove Generators, and right now they're offering you a free 7-year warranty. That is over $1,000 value. So if you've ever wanted a backup home standby generator, now is the time to do it with my friends at Cove Generators. They've also got great financing options as well. Now listen, this is the company to go through. They are your premier Generac home standby generator dealer here in the state of Tennessee. So be prepared for the next power outage and call Cove Generators and never lose power again. 931-559-3311. 931-559-3311. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out and get that free 7-year warranty worth over $1,000. Cove Generators, they can also service your Generac automatic standby generators or any brand of generator that you own. Call them 931-559-3311. 931-559-3311. CoveGenerators.com. Hey everybody, Dan Mandis with Nashville's Morning News and Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I was speaking to Dr. Christopher Van Shank the other day at a station event. Now, he's a psychiatrist, and he was telling me about the mental health crisis here in America. And as you know, it's out of control. The COVID lockdowns were an absolute disaster. And Dr. Van Shank, again, he's a psychiatrist. And if you're one of those people, you feel like maybe you need to talk to somebody, I would recommend Dr. Christopher Van Shank. He can help you with addictions, depression, anxiety. He can also help kids with the same thing. He's been doing this for 15 years. He's been helping people, and he is here for you today. So if you want to check out his website is nolensvillepsychiatry.com. That's nolensvillepsychiatry.com. There's a whole list of issues that he can help you with. So check him out. If you feel like he can help you, give him a call. The number is below, and good luck.
Got a handful of trouble spots now. Woodbine 24 westbound at I-440, an accident that blocks the right lane. Another one on 40 westbound at Spence Lane. That's a crash that blocks the left lane. And then in Hermitage on 40 westbound at Old Hickory Boulevard East, a crash that blocks the HOV lane. 24 eastbound side, MLK Parkway, a crash reported. It's stop and go there. And then at Dickerson Pike and Briley Parkway, it's a crash at the ramp by the Walmart. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Murphy in the middle of downtown Franklin, Tennessee. We've talked so much about Savory Spice. I thought, why not show you the place? So let's go on in and see what's popping at Savory Spice. As I've always said, you will smell the spices even before you walk in. I can smell them right here in the doorway. Come on in and let's introduce you to the one and only Holly. who is the owner and proprietor of Savory Spice. Say hey, Holly.
Hello, everyone.
Now, enough about Holly. Let's talk about spicy and easy products like the incredible taco soup, which, as I said, you put this in a crock pot, you put all the ingredients that it tells you to buy right there, you put the spices in, and it's so easy. So if you don't know what you're doing around the kitchen, it's a perfect way to find your way around the kitchen, as is the Mediterranean dill risotto. Now, for the holidays, pumpkin pie spice. What doesn't it have, Holly?
Pumpkin.
Doesn't have any pumpkin in it. That's a fun fact for all of you kids out there. Now, if you stop by Savory Spice, either in the Franklin location or at L&L Market, you can get yourself a sample of the dill dip, which is my absolute favorite. Just tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Savory Spice with purchase now. So come by Franklin or L&L Market in Nashville and come see Holly and the entire crew at Savory Spice.
Seven. Waiting for the other music. Joan, name
I
that.
like this.
Name this song.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, this is from that movie.
Oh my goodness gracious, Mason! This is what happens when you get older. You forget things. This is Ghostbusters, Joan.
Yeah, it's Ghostbusters. Of course, I knew. I was waiting to see if you knew who it was.
Is that what you were?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mason, can you do it?
Do what?
Ghostbusters. Actually, apparently I can't do that, and I probably should do it again.
Sound like a 12-year-old girl.
Wow.
New hotkey right there.
You know what? Joan just got me back because I called her older earlier.
Yeah.
So did you catch that, Joan?
Yep, I did.
Okay.
I'm going to be very honest. I watched this movie for the first time this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For the first
what year
time?
was
For
it
the
made?
first time. Say it again.
What year was it made? It's like
Oh, goodness.
1989 or
I think
something,
so.
right?
I think that sounds
No,
right.
I think it was earlier than that.
Really?
I think I wasn't I in high school? I graduated in 86. Yeah,
1984. Wow.
Wow.
Mandis was right. Mandis was right.
You didn't say 84.
No, I said it was when I was in high school.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that was in the 30s.
Which is my
Nice, Mason. 2 points.
You know what, Mason? I'm going to tell the program director you got here 1 minute before the show started.
And I'm still doing my job okay? I think we're all right.
I don't know. That's debatable. Anyway, totally kidding. Yeah, now, what you need to do then...
I'm muting your mic.
You need to... You know what? Everybody wishes, Mason, that you would mute my mic. You don't do that. That doesn't work on the radio. He did. He literally turned off my microphone.
What? Hearing you cut off a little bit was a little funny.
Whoa!
Ah.
He's turning off my microphone. No, go see the 2 latest Ghostbusters movies. They're really good. Have you seen those,
really
Joan?
good.
What's that?
The 2 latest Ghostbuster movies?
No.
Not the one with all the chicks. No, not that one.
I don't like when they make these.
No, it's good. It's a
I've heard they're
continuation.
really, really good. I've Paul Rudd's in the second one, I think,
And the third one.
and the third one. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
They're really good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Yep.
I've been meaning to. That's kind of why I watched the original. I was like, okay, these look really good. I need to know the story of the original before even getting close to going towards seeing those. So,
All right, so that's your assignment.
it's my new goal.
And we'll ask Chris Hand if he's a believer in Ghostbusters.
Believer in Ghostbusters, not the ghosts themselves.
No. By the way, find me on X at Dan Mandis Show. I love this. Robbie Starbuck has posted and I have reposted. This thread is for anyone still on the fence who's asking why they should vote for Donald Trump. He says, I think I can earn your vote if you read this. This is from, I'm assuming this is from the Trump campaign. But they've got, there has to be 15 different things that Donald Trump did. And this, by the way, this is just a very partial list. But they talk about all of the things, kind of off the beaten path that Donald Trump did for the American people. Some of this stuff, by the way, more like it doesn't just scream conservative. Trump signed a bill making CBD and hemp legal, They say that violent crime fell every year that Donald Trump was in office after rising the last 2 years before he was elected, Obama. Trump signed a law to make cruelty to animals a federal felony so that animal abusers face tougher consequences, and on it goes. So if you've got a flip-flopper, if you've got a waffler in your life that doesn't, really know the issues all that well, just send him that link. Find me online, find me on X at Dan Mandis Show, and it's all right there. Trump's EPA gave $100 million to fix the water infrastructure problem in Flint, Michigan. I hope that's something that Michiganders know and understand, because that is huge. Trump signed a law ending the gag order on pharmacists that prevented them from sharing money-saving information. And on it goes. Now, we're all concerned about free and fair elections, right? And over the last couple of days, I've been telling you a couple of things that have been going on that call that into question. Now, Laura Trump tweeted this out. She says, this is from Michigan. Our election integrity team received reports of thousands of duplicate ballots in Michigan. That's a problem. Duplicate ballots in Michigan. I mean, listen, all we want is a free and fair election. She says, we immediately investigated and have confirmed that it was a glitch in the system. These duplicates were not and will not be counted. We are on it and protecting the vote. Talking to Hans von Spakovsky and some other people, Matthew Hurd is another one, really smart people. They will tell you that the Republican Party and Donald Trump is far and away above of where they were 4 years ago, and certainly 8 years ago as well. Their radar is finely tuned to these glitches that seem to happen in some of these states. By the way, did you see what's going on with some of these Dominion voting machines? This is a big deal, or at least it was a big deal, and apparently it's been found out, and hopefully they're working to fix this. But we all know about Dominion, right? The voting machines. There's some Dominion issues being reported, and you may have seen some of the headlines where they are having some issues. Now, the problem with these voting machines, and again, this is in Michigan, is that the machines that are used for people with disabilities, it's called a voter assist terminal. Well, apparently they are somehow malfunctioning. This is part of what they say is going on with these Dominion voting machines.
It's a special kind of voting terminal that helps people with disabilities mark their ballot on their own choices, and it's made by voting systems. In Michigan, when you vote a straight party ticket, you can also go back and select individual races and vote for a candidate in a different party. So when people cast that kind of ballot and stick it into that particular machine, they may get a message saying there's an error. So people using this VAT machine should either vote straight party or vote in each individual race.
All right, so online you see all the headlines, and I'm not bashing people who did this, but online you're seeing all the headlines about, blaring headlines that Dominion voting, they're at it again, right? That's what the headlines are. Dominion knows about the problem. They're saying it is a legit problem, whatever. Channel 6 in Michigan is where that report was from. They're also saying that this isn't an issue just in Michigan. Nope.
This isn't just a problem in Michigan. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson says it's happening in other places too. Swope says his main concern is voters who think their votes won't count. But he says voters using these machines will be able to see when their vote goes through, which means it will count in this election.
All right, so the bottom line on this is they say that it's only the disabled folks that are using these voter assistance terminals, and that the problem is known, and they're dealing with it. But here's my question. Not that I don't have all the faith in the world in these voting machines, but you've had like 4 years since the last presidential election. How is it possible that you've screwed this up? I would ask Dominion voting machines and the people at Dominion. You knew this election, it's the same time every 4 years, every 2 years, actually. And yet you have glitches? Are you kidding me? I don't understand how you have glitches, how you have problems with the voting machines, especially when you consider, number one, the nationwide suspicion about these machines. That's number one. And number two, this is only the most consequential election in our lifetimes. Don't worry about it. Glitches are going to happen, all right? 7:46, time to check the roads on WTN. All right, 7:47 on Super Talk 99.7. As far as your weather goes, mostly cloudy today. It's going to start raining at about 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's going to continue on throughout the evening time. So, yes, that will impact the trick-or-treaters. I don't think you can wait till the rain ends because it looks like it's going to rain off and on, again, as I said, throughout the evening. So maybe if you could sneak out a little bit early, that might make better sense. Now, talking about the Dominion voting machines that apparently have some glitches in the state of Michigan and nationwide, the Michigan Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, says, yeah, this isn't just a problem here.
Yeah, this is a nationwide issue with Dominion voter access terminals in the counties that use them. And the voter access terminals, of course, not all the machines, just the ones that are accessible, have an issue with the straight party voting and a programming issue that's, again, affected the machines nationwide. And I think all of us that use Dominion machines were unhappy to learn about this during the testing period and as early voting began. So we're working with Dominion to seek accountability on that front, and also are working with our clerks to ensure voters are aware of this programming issue that will require them to ensure they are voting every section on the ballot. It's not struck me as I've talked to my other colleagues in other states. They're just as upset about it as we are. So, yeah, there you go. It's funny. Meantime, you remember in Pennsylvania, Bucks County, we talked about this, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, where they had these catastrophic, like really long 4-hour lines to vote because they have this system, again, in Pennsylvania, Bucks County, where you can register for mail-in ballots in person, then fill out the forms, then turn it back in that very same day. The process takes, 12 minutes, but you have all of these people that are going in for early voting. And so that resulted in really long lines. And they actually, in Bucks County, this was a very big deal. They shut the lines down 2.5 hours early. Well, Michael Wadley, the chairman of the GOP National Committee, he was a little ticked.
We are going to fight this thing in court, and all we ask of you is to stay in line. Donald Trump needs your votes. Donald Trump needs Pennsylvania, and America needs Pennsylvania. We are going to swamp the vote, and we are not going to let the Democrats stop us.
Well, and Donald Trump actually fought that and won a victory in Pennsylvania. A Bucks County judge has now ordered the Bucks County Board of Elections to extend its on-demand mail-in ballot deadline until the close of business on Friday, November 1st. So, again, that is a very big deal. And also the U.S. Supreme Court, and this is the last one, the U.S. Supreme Court, they have now said that, yes, the state of Virginia, the very important state of Virginia, is going to be allowed to continue to purge non-citizens from their voter rolls. My friends, that is huge. So some good news for the Republicans because as far as protecting the ballot and protecting the free and fair election, it does seem to me like the Republicans and Laura Trump and Donald Trump and by and large the Republican Party, it does seem like they are on it, and that is most certainly good news. Donald Trump, they keep asking him about whether or not he'll accept the results of the election. Can I ask, why is it, and we keep asking this question, why is it no one is asking Kamala Harris the same question? Because if you believe the polling shows that she's going to lose. So I would like somebody to have the testicular fortitude to ask Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, if Donald Trump wins, if you lose, Will you stand by the results of the election? I'll wait. Nobody's asked them yet. I'm waiting for it. 7:52. Joan Jones has the news at 8. Joan, what's coming up?
Well, Elon Musk is making some moves in court this morning over his $1 million voter lottery lawsuit. Also, who is shooting up WeGo bus stations? Police are on the hunt. Those stories and more coming up at 8 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Did you hear what Nikki Haley said about Donald Trump?
No.
We'll talk about it after the news at 8 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. You know, when the real estate market slows down, Mark Spain Real Estate, they can really help you out with their guaranteed offer. You know, fall can indeed be a busy time, and trying to sell your home can be overwhelming. With the guaranteed offer, you're going to be on the market, get an all-cash offer, and close within days. And the best part is no stress. Now, one of their clients, Walker, said we had to move fast, and we were worried. Spain gave us an offer in 3 days for over our asking price. Now, with Mark Spain, they've got over 12,500 five-star reviews, and you can trust Mark Spain to sell your home fast and for the most money. Call them 855-299-SOLD, 855-299-SOLD. You can also find them online. It is markspain.com to find out what your guaranteed offer would be on your home today. That's markspain.com, and start packing.
Hey, I'm Joan Jones on Super Talk 99.7. And you know, the dual power of radio and digital has always been such a plus for our advertisers. So if you're thinking about your 2025 plans, make sure you check us out at 997WTN.com/epic. Go there now.
7:56, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Appreciate you listening. Hey, by the way, don't forget, November 5th, you guys going to come? Mason, you going to be there? Joan, you going to come to the big November 5th election night party?
I think I will be there.
At the Wilson County Fairgrounds. I can't wait. The James E. Ward Agricultural and Community Center.
Yeah.
And, I think this is going to be, there's going to be a lot of people there. Thank the Lord we have this massive room. I'm a little nervous, though. Like, there's a big room. And I feel
just
like
just a little bit.
We need some seat fillers. That's what I feel like.
I think, personally, I think you're going to get it filled to the brim.
I don't know. I'm just going to tell you guys know how. You guys don't know how I get. Joe and I always get like really weird before our events because I never think that anybody's going to show up, and it all goes back to I think it was my 8th birthday party when nobody showed up at my birthday party. Like not one person showed up to my birthday party. So I think it all stems from that. So I always freak out.
I'm feeling really bad for you right now.
Well, you should. That was a very impactful moment in my life.
But I can already tell you what it is.
What is it?
It's because your birthday's at Christmas, so...
My birthday's the day after Christmas.
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
That's why, moms and dads had their kids doing other things.
That's no excuse. It's all about me.
You can get over it now. You're what?
Really? Because I'm sitting here fretting over whether or not people are going to show up at our stupid thing. Not a stupid thing. It's not a stupid thing. It's our election night party brought to you by U.S. Pest, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. The Glock Store, they are going to be the stage sponsor. The Wellness Institute of Nashville. And, of course, if you want to try some of that Space Cowboy coffee, there's going to be a lot of that floating around as well. So all of the VIP tickets are gone. But please trust us. We have plenty of room, and we want you to show up. All the details at 997WTN.com.
If you were Chris Hand... Good morning. We are at 8 o'clock now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Pretty scary. We've got some rain headed our way for trick-or-treating. We've got that forecast coming up for you just a couple of moments. And breaking news this morning, Elon Musk is seeking to move the lawsuit over his $1 million giveaways to a federal court.
This lawsuit from the Philadelphia District Attorney calls the giveaway an illegal lottery in Pennsylvania. The suit cites the PAC's failure to publish a complete set of rules or to show how participants' personal information is being protected. The DA also suggests in his suit that the drawings aren't random because, quote, multiple winners that have been selected are individuals who have shown up at Trump rallies in Pennsylvania.
That's ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Now, the effort to move this to a federal court comes hours after a Philadelphia judge ordered Musk to personally appear for an emergency hearing this morning. Metro Nashville police searching for the suspects who shot up 50 WeGo bus shelters since September. And they have new video showing someone was at it again last week. This time, a red sedan drives by a bus shelter at 12th Avenue South and Wedgwood Avenue, and the glass shatters. The vandals, they believe, are using airsoft guns. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. The Wilson County School District is adding fencing as a new layer of protection for students and staff.
We don't want somebody coming on our grounds that, again, not supposed to be here and has ill intentions to harm our property or, again, harm someone on our property at any point of the day.
The fencing was approved earlier this year for Mount Juliet Middle School, Watertown Elementary, Tucker's Crossroads Elementary, Southside Elementary, and Wilson Central High. Some of the newer schools built in Wilson County already have fencing. So just how divisive is this election? Well, Axios has a survey out that shows many Gen Z voters have lied to those with whom they are close about which candidates received their votes. 48% said that they lied in this survey taken October 27th to the 24th. Axios says the intense polarization this election cycle might have some of us staying quiet or lying on the topic of their political beliefs when around friends or family.
You know, I wouldn't admit to voting for Kamala Harris either if I were them.
Good one. Thank you. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
The guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Well, a crash on 40 westbound side at Old Hickory Boulevard East. It blocks off the HOV lane and stop and go traffic from Mount Juliet Road through that spot. Also westbound on 24. It's a crash that blocks the right shoulder in Woodbine. It's right before I-440. A crash reported in Brentwood as well at Moores Lane and Carruthers Parkway and Belmont University. A crash Wedgwood Avenue at 16th Avenue South. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
8:06, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Joan, have you seen this? So
what is it, Dan?
I guess it's ESPN on ABC, and they're airing some sort of a car race.
Okay.
And they apparently accidentally aired some election results. Kamala Harris winning Pennsylvania by 5% with 100% of the vote in. And it's right down there on the bottom like they were doing some sort of election coverage. And it says right there. At least that's what people are saying on social media. I saw a story about this too. Harris at 52%, Trump at 47%, 100% of the voting in, and people are trying to, what the heck is this? And I can't explain it. The only thing that I can say is that they're training some people for election night, and they're like, yeah, this is how we post the results. And they accidentally posted it, on the air, if you will, as opposed to just doing it sort of in the background.
Yeah, but that's just going to fuel all kinds of theories, whether they're conspiracy theories or otherwise, that they're planning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that this was probably an honest mistake. I don't know. Maybe I give the networks a little too much credit.
You have a good heart. Yeah, you have a good heart.
I do have a good heart, even though nobody went to my 8th birthday party.
Oh, my goodness.
We're not going to go backwards. Hey, by the way, Joan, I triggered a liberal this morning.
Uh-oh.
My day is complete. We were talking earlier about how Joe Biden, this viral stories, about how Joe Biden at the White House Halloween party, which, by the way, I really like. Did you see this, by the way, Joan? Joe Biden had a really good costume. Did you see what it is?
No, I saw Jill's costume.
Well, I don't know what Jill was.
She was a panda.
She was a... Anyway. Joe was dressed as a creepy old man. Is what he was. Anyway, so there's photos and videos of Joe Biden, like, playfully biting children. Now, on one picture, he's biting some little baby's thigh. On another picture, Joe Biden is, like, biting... I don't want to say that he's sucking on toes. I'm not going to say that. But he's putting the kid's foot in his mouth.
Yeah.
It is just... I'm going to ask this question. Is that or is that not bizarre behavior? Maybe it's me, because the guy on... the guy who I triggered on social media, a guy by the name of Steve, says because I posted this on my X feed. If Trump had done this, you'd be blathering on and on about how playful it was and that he's a man of the people and some other such nonsense, is what Steve says. So, no, Steve, you know why I would never say that about Donald Trump? Because Donald Trump wouldn't do that. Donald Trump wouldn't go around putting his mouth on children. But Joe Biden does that. So that's my question, though.
He sees himself.
Is that bizarre behavior?
See, he sees himself as being grandfatherly. This is how he probably plays with his grandchildren, the ones that he recognizes, acknowledges. I think acknowledges.
Sure, acknowledges. The ones that he'll talk about.
And I think that that's the way he sees himself. So he's just continuing in that role.
I think what's going on is, like, Hunter's baby mama is like, yeah, I'll pass. I'll pass on being involved in the Biden clan. That's okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I don't think that you would do it. I mean, of course, when you see a baby, you want to, like, hug the baby, squeeze the baby.
I have a new grandchild. I would never in a million years, like, do some of the stuff that Biden's doing, and certainly not to a complete stranger.
Right.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like can you imagine walking up to somebody at a mall with a baby and just, sticking your dirty mouth on their leg?
Are these all people who are strangers to the White House, or are these White House families that are gathered, on the lawn?
Fair question. Yeah, I don't know.
Like the egg roll, when they do the egg roll at Easter, that's done by lottery. You have to win the lottery to get tickets.
Didn't you say there were 3 pictures? I've got 2 that I've seen. I think somebody said there was another one. There's a total of 3.
I see I saw one in which a child who was dressed, it looked like black, maybe a pajama set with white ghosts.
Right.
And the parent is holding the child, and the child's trying to squirm away from Joe Biden as he's
Well, he
descending on him.
probably saw Biden bite the other kids.
Yeah.
By the way, how appropriate is it that the kid is wearing a ghost costume? Because Joe Biden is always out there trying to shake hands with those ghosts.
Well done.
Hey, Mason, that was funny. Laugh. Mason's just fell asleep.
No.
Anyway, so
Mason cannot be had.
So anyway, so I just I triggered a liberal, and that's that. My day is now complete.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I don't know if this is one of those things that is being blown out of proportion. If this is sort of like a lie that social media is telling about Joe Biden. But here's the deal, because you know maybe it's maybe they're Hunter's kids, or maybe they're, I don't know, somebody from within the family. I don't know, which then maybe it's a little different. But the thing that I would say is that if you really want to start calling folks out about the truth, well, then you could talk about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and Bill Clinton and all these other folks all day long. Because when you look at, I played an audio bite earlier. I don't have it anymore, but I played an audio bite earlier where it was Kamala Harris, and she's talking about Donald Trump, and he's going to outlaw abortion and all of these other things, which everybody knows is not true. Even she knows it's not true. And honest to goodness, it's like they don't care. But you see, all of this is coming back to bite them, to be honest with you. All of this lying is going to bite them in the butt because the American people aren't falling for it. The latest polling, Georgia, Donald Trump is up 2.4%. North Carolina, Trump is up 1%. Pennsylvania, Trump is up 0.8%. That is higher than where he was yesterday. Arizona, Trump is up 2.5%. He's trailing by just barely in the latest polling in Michigan and Wisconsin. Now, we all know what people are talking about today, right? We all know that people still on ABC and CNN and NBC and so forth, everybody's talking about Joe Biden and the garbage comment. And I really like what Trump did. He came out and he came out swinging, and he started talking about Joe Biden and the comment that he made. And in about 3 minutes, when my computer actually starts working again, I'm going to play that audio for you. Here it is.
50 million Americans are not garbage.
Yeah, that is Donald Trump saying 250 million people are not garbage. Let me play that one more time.
250 million Americans are not garbage.
You know, I think part of this is Donald Trump smells blood in the water. I think that they know that the media is now begrudgingly calling them out and calling out Biden and calling out Kamala Harris and so forth. I just told you where the polling is at. None of this, the polling that I just read to you, none of this actually factors in Joe Biden's comments that he made just the other day about Donald Trump supporters being garbage. And Trump continued, as he should, to hammer this.
This week, Kamala has been comparing her political opponents to the most evil mass murderers in history. And now, speaking on a call for her campaign last night, crooked Joe Biden finally said what he and Kamala really think of our supporters. He called them garbage. No way. No way.
Yeah. I mean, listen, everybody knows that that was a comment that Biden and Harris and the Democrats are not going to be able to run away from.
You are promising to bring people together, even people you disagree with. You say, well, have a seat at the table. How do you convince Trump supporters of that, though, when you're calling their candidate a would-be dictator, a petty tyrant?
I mean, wait till you hear what Kamala Harris answers, what her answer is to that question as she is cornered. And she's been saying to the American people, telling the American people, yeah, I'm going to be the great uniter. I'm going to bring everyone together, but she's using that kind of language. ABC wants answers, and wait till you hear this answer from a very wide-eyed Kamala Harris, who I know what's going through her mind. It is, oh, crap. It is 8:15. Time to check the roads on WTN. 817 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We have Kamala Harris. This is her answer, talking about how she's been so divisive. How can you be the great uniter?
You are promising to bring people together, even people you disagree with. You say, well, have a seat at the table. How do you convince Trump supporters of that, though, when you're calling their candidate a would-be dictator, a petty tyrant?
I am talking to everyone as an American.
No, you're really not. You're actually calling half of the American people Nazis. And so this is something that now the media is finally starting to, as I said, begrudgingly cover. CBS got to Tim Walz.
I want to get your reaction to the president's comments, but I want to put it into a larger context of your recent comment comparing the Sunday Trump rally to a Nazi rally. And I would also throw in there Obama's bitter clingers, guns and religion comment from a while back, the deplorable line from Hillary Clinton's campaign, and the way that Democrats are seen by some voters as disrespecting them. And I have to ask, does that undercut this closing message of unity from your campaign?
I mean, of course it does. I mean, that's a great comment and that's a great question from the folks over there at CBS. And this is what Tim Walz's answer was. And it really is not much of an answer. This is what he said.
No, certainly not. And for Tony, for me, I've represented rural areas. I've represented Democrats, Republicans, independents. Same thing with the vice president. Look, you saw a presidential speech last night at the Ellipse that is the best of America, one that's talking about unifying us, one that's talking about bringing folks to the table, one that the American tradition of disagreeing and debating, but still doing it in a respectful manner. And I think there's the frustration we've seen since January 6th, the frustration with Donald Trump's rhetoric of division. It does fire passions. And I think President Biden was very clear that he's speaking about the rhetoric. We heard it that, so it doesn't undermine it. People are hungry to come back together. They're hungry to find a unifying message. They're hungry for us to find solutions, whether it's prices or whether it's reproductive care. They want to see solutions.
So, again, whether it's Kamala Harris or Tim Walz, they're really not saying anything to defend Joe Biden's comments. They're trying to sort of skirt away from them and try to really downplay them.
Actually, they're blaming it on Donald Trump. They're blaming what they do on Donald Trump.
Which is what they always do,
yes.
Right? And by the way, Trump, for his part, he was very uniting last night.
Joe Biden's comments were the direct result of Kamala's decision to portray everyone who isn't voting for her, which is a lot of people,
yep,
as evil and subhuman. And we know it's really what they believe, because look at how they've treated you. They treat you like garbage. They treat our whole country like garbage, with open borders, with all of the horrible things they've done to hurt our country, inflation that should have never happened, allowing Russia to go into Ukraine, October 7th, and Israel. All of these things would have never happened if you had a different president.
That's exactly right. Donald Trump is right. And I feel like his speeches have been very uniting, and his speeches have been really about all Americans. And he has said that over and over and over again. So, this is going to be one of those moments. The big question is, will this actually impact the general election? A lot of people are saying, actually, yes, it will. It is 8:20 on Nashville's Morning News. Joan Jones, quickly, what's coming up in the news?
Well, Dan, I will tell you, I can't do this quickly. A prank that went too far.
Sorry.
Police have made some arrests of teenagers. And what a government report just out this morning says about inflation. That's all coming up at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products?
With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
.826 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Want to welcome on into the program very quickly Katie Ishii, one of my favorite times of the year because I always get to speak to Katie about the Highway 41 Toy Convoy. It is coming up on Sunday, and I'm always glad to promote this, Katie, because it is such an amazing event. You get all these people out there, and it's a big convoy of toys, and it's for needy kids. And Katie, how are you?
I'm doing good, Dan. How are you?
I'm good. So tell me about, because there's a lot of new listeners to the show, which I'm eternally grateful. But
oh, my God. It's going to be so big this year. It's going to be unbelievable.
All right, so talk about what's going on.
Okay. We're raising toys for the kids here in Middle Tennessee, and everybody brings a new unwrapped toy. We're also want to help the kids in Carolina and East Tennessee by bringing blankets and teddy bears for them. Not big bears, just little cuddly blankets and small teddy bears, because they don't even have a floor to put it on.
Yeah.
You know, at least maybe this will give them some comfort. But we've been doing this 28 years now, and we have cars, motorcycles, trucks, hot rods, Jeeps, vans, motorcycles, big rigs, everything that rolls 55. And we all fly the American flag in salute of our country. And we go from Manchester with a police escort. We'll line up in Manchester at exit 111. We go out to Beech Grove, and we'll cut over on 64 over into War Trace, across the railroad tracks to the park. And we have a big circle driveway for the show vehicles. And we're going to have a band, door prizes, trophies. And this year, our Grand Marshal is somebody super special, Dan.
Yes.
I met this guy last year. Well, it took me a year to find him. I just met him this year. He's a machine gunner from Black Hawk Down.
Wow. That's amazing.
And when I was asking him for a picture, he said, I love kids. Yeah, I would love to do that. His name's J.T. Cooper. He's from Murfreesboro. And he says, you don't know what I'm doing now, do you? And I says, I don't have a clue. And he says, I take 20 soldiers, I put them in a room with 20 songwriters, and the soldiers share their stories, the writers put it to music, and then they do a concert for the families. And I was thinking, golly, what a great guy, you know?
That's
How they
awesome.
help. Isn't that awesome?
It is, and he's going to be the Grand Marshal. And again, this is such a visual because, I mean, you get a lot of local news coverage, press coverage as well. And again, I'm always happy to support it. I've got 30 seconds left. Highway 41 Toy Convoy. It is happening on Sunday. Katie, where can people get more information on this?
They can go to Highway Convoy page on Facebook, just Highway Convoy, and we have a Facebook page there. or they can go to War Trace Outsiders page on Facebook and get information there. So
And you need, and there's basically a rundown of the toys that you need and how
toys
people
for the
can
middle
help.
kids, teddy bears, and cuddly blankets.
All right. I always love promoting the toy drive. It is always a great thing. It's a sight to behold. And good luck this year. And again, that is happening on Sunday, 8/29 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. Did you know that you're funding America's future? And it's not the future you want for you or your kids. Most major credit cards funnel millions of dollars to liberal causes and candidates, hoping that you don't notice. So take a stand and get woke out of your wallet. Coin is the conservative's credit card. You earn cash back while advancing a conservative future. Apply right now at coin.com, COIGN, coin.com. Terms apply. Go to coin.com with a G, COIGN, coin.com/disclosures for full details.
Good morning. It's now 8:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We are finally expecting some rain, but it looks like it's going to rain on trick-or-treaters tonight. We've got the forecast just ahead. Some teenagers in Spring Hill facing charges related to vandalism of homes and vehicles. This woman talked to News 2.
Rolling noises, and then boom, and then they sounded like grown men laughing, screaming, and then silence.
Police say a mortar-style firework was thrown at one house, and it caused some toilet paper that had been put around the bushes to catch fire. Another house and a car were covered in raw eggs. It was all done in the run-up to the Summit and Independence High School's football game, which is tomorrow night. Police have taken 8 juveniles into custody. Something to celebrate in Tennessee. The State Department of Education saying the state keeps graduating more students year over year. The 23-24 rate is a state record at 92.1%. The previous record was in 22-23. That rate was 90.6%. Inflation increased again last month at 2.1% year over year. And that's in line with what economists were expecting and close to the 2% that the Federal Reserve wants to see. The report comes with markets betting heavily that the Fed will cut its benchmark short-term borrowing rate when it meets next week. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather are next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. Appreciate it. 8:32 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. One of my favorite advertisers, DT McCall's, and here's why. Because I've been shopping at DT McCall's for a long time. You come into my house, you know what you're going to see? You are going to see a brand new dryer that we just bought from DT McCall's. It was delivered a few days ago. All we had to do was go online at dtmccalls.com, ordered the dryer, and they brought it. They delivered it for. They delivered for.
What's the matter with you?
I can't. Chris Hand. Do you see how Chris is dressed?
I'm avoiding it intentionally.
Okay, you know what? Hold on. If you, friends, no, nobody say.
Okay.
Nobody say how Chris Hand is dressed. But I look to my left. No. Wait for the gang of 3 or 4.
That is awesome.
I look to my left. And
that's awesome. That's dope.
I look to my left, and Chris is dressed a certain way that you'll see, and it totally threw me off.
Big hype.
Big hype. That's exactly right.
Based.
You know, another based company is DT McCall's.
DT McCall's is great.
That's exactly why. They are the largest Liberty safe dealer in the state of Tennessee. You know, right now, gun safes are sales tax free at DT McCall's. So check them out. If you need a gun safe, you can find one at DT McCall's. They also deliver for free. They haul away the old stuff as well, whether we're talking about, you know, my old dryer or your old gun safe. Now, other places are going to charge you $500 at least for delivery and setup in bigger models, $300 for smaller models as well. DT McCall & Sons delivers every safe for free every time. No setup charge either. 5 locations across Middle Tennessee: Carthage, Cookeville, Lafayette, Lebanon, Franklin. Always online. DTMcCalls.com. Hey everybody, Dan Mandis with Nashville's Morning News and Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I was speaking to Dr. Christopher Van Shank the other day at a station event. Now, he's a psychiatrist, and he was telling me about the mental health crisis here in America. And as you know, it's out of control. The COVID lockdowns were an absolute disaster. And Dr. Van Shank, again, he's a psychiatrist. And if you're one of those people, you feel like maybe you need to talk to somebody, I would recommend Dr. Christopher Van Shank. He can help you with addictions, depression, anxiety. He can also help kids with the same thing. He's been doing this for 15 years. He's been helping people, and he is here for you today. So if you want to check out his website is nolansvillepsychiatry.com. That's nolansvillepsychiatry.com. There's a whole list of issues that he can help you with. So check him out. If you feel like he can help you, give him a call. The number is below, and good luck. .838, Gang of Four, Nashville's Morning News.
You know these instrumentals are throwing Dan off. He looked at me and goes, oh, I guess this is us.
He threw down Ghostbusters earlier, and I was totally confused. Thriller.
All right, so when I was working at Kiss 108, Boston's #1 for hit music.
Sure.
Michael Jackson died. And I was producing the Seacrest show, and I was like, well, we got to do a countdown of Michael Jackson's greatest hits.
Of course.
And then I realized at the end when we played the little thing, like, Kiss 108 remembers Michael Jackson. At the end of this song, it's laughing throughout the whole thing. So it was really awkward, because you know how the guy laughs at the end of the song?
Yeah.
It felt like we were laughing at the death.
Oh, no.
No, that death wasn't funny.
No, it's like we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Should have cleaned that up.
Did you get fired? Is that why you're here now?
That's why I'm here. That's what brought me here.
All right, so if you
up.
if you have not if you're not watching Super Talk TV, now is the time to do it, because
You have to.
Chris comes dressed up in a safety vest, a la Donald Trump.
I'm Garbage Truck Trump today.
Garbage Truck Trump. That is your costume. Are you going to go as Garbage Truck Trump?
I am.
Today?
I am. Can I tell you something? My wife said, take all the credit for this, and I'm not going to. I woke up, and my wife said, I'm getting ready. She said, if you leave now, you could stop by Walmart. And I said, what are you talking about? And she flashes me her phone, and she said, aisle D19 has a really nice safety vest.
That's funny.
And I said, are you kidding? And she goes, seriously, you should leave now. I said, that's brilliant. And I said, thank you, Virginia. I'm going to go do that.
She is the brains behind your operation.
She is. She keeps me put together.
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth, though, for most households?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's always, the women are always I know it's true in mine, where the Amy's the brains and sometimes the brawn as well. And, there's that.
Is there a costume contest today?
Where? Here?
Yeah. I want a prize.
You're the only one. So.
You win.
I want a prize. Some sort of certificate.
Do you know what I want to know?
I have the remote control to my TV for you.
All right, listen, though. I want to, in all seriousness, and this is going to be a very special.
Okay.
Gang of 4.
Oh.
Is there people in this building that are going to be triggered by what you're wearing?
I don't know. Would they be triggered?
I think we all know. There's some libs in this building.
Would they be triggered by any of my other outfits I wear on a normal day?
You wear it. It's like every day he's got some sort of a Trump thing on. So
you're the guy that gets all of us colored with the Trump paint because you can walk out of these doors and we all get the looks.
We're those MAGA extremists.
Yeah.
Well, you just leave them there in the corner. They're going to do their thing and, whatever. No, you look great, though.
Thank you. My wife said it made me look thin.
You and Trump.
I said,
forget my jacket.
She said, you should wear this vest. I said, no way. No way. She told me it made me look thin.
I was actually wondering if there's going to be people that are going to go get. I bet you there's been a rush on those.
Oh, and you gotta understand. You could go to a Halloween party and run into 6 different Trumps. You could get
easily.
You could get mugshot Trump.
Yep.
You could get McDonald's Trump. You could get Trump Classic. You could get bloody ear Trump. There's a lot of different looks.
bloody ear Trump.
There's a lot of different looks that you could go for this Halloween.
He does, and it's kind of funny too because there was a meme out there, and it was kind of funny. Can you imagine if someone woke up out of a deep coma after 2 years, and it's like, okay, wait a minute. So Donald Trump was arrested, not 1 but 2 assassination attempts. He served up fries in McDonald's, and he rode in a garbage truck.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's great.
I saw a meme that said, I want a time machine so I can go back 10 years to let people know that the host of The Apprentice and the host of Fear Factor are going to have the most consequential conversation about politics and see how many drugs they put me on.
Well, and the funny thing is, so this morning there's the absolute epic photographs of Donald Trump in the garbage truck, and then we have Joe Biden, and he's photographed biting children.
Why? Who said this was a good idea? Would you let? All right, you got a new grandbaby.
No, I wouldn't. No. I would not let Joe Biden or anyone near the grandbaby. It is just now. Joan brought up a good point. Maybe these are like relatives of Joe's who they already understand, like
the kids are going to get
the creepy
bit.
Biden factor.
I think it was a White House staff party, actually.
That was a White House staff party?
I think these are all people who he knows who brought their children to the White House for
that's a crime in and of itself.
That makes it worse. Doesn't it make it worse?
It's like, so I have to take care of you on my days off too.
Do you remember when they had the Easter Bunny come over and lure him away from what he was doing? They didn't have anybody in costume this time around to pull him away.
That Easter Bunny thing, the picture of Joe Biden when he saw that Easter Bunny, that was one of the best Biden moments ever because
it's on the list.
I can still see it in my head. Biden's. I'm scared of the Easter Bunny look.
All right, lure the creepy old man with chocolate away from the kids.
It's like he's near children. Get him away. You know what I mean? It's just very embarrassing. And if you're a staffer, do you think they had to do a little pool? It's like or some sort of a contest, and the winner has to bring their kid near Joe Biden.
They're drawing straws.
They're drawing straws. Short straw gets the Biden. There you go. Bring in your kid. Bring in your kid. Let him get bit by the president. I mean,
Somebody forgot the shepherd's hook to pull him back.
just a little
Draw
nibble.
the curtain now.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest episode of The Walking Dead I've ever seen.
Anonymous sources before the bite said that the president said just a taste.
Oh my God.
Just a nibble.
And I saw there were. Joan said, or somebody said, there's 3 photos. I saw 2. There's Biden going after some poor kid's thigh.
Yep, I saw that.
And his another kid, maybe it's the same, I don't know, a toe. He was going after some kid's foot.
He put the whole thing in his mouth. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I see the
Not
whole
once,
thing.
not once, but twice, up to and including heel.
Oh my gosh!
I thought it was just
I'm watching it. That's
No,
crazy.
I mean you had tongue on foot there.
Oh my God!
There's no way around that. That tongue was in there. I'm just painting a picture. Theater of the mind. He absolutely had his tongue on that baby's foot.
I want my money back. I want to walk out of this theater.
Well, now I need more of a licking sound effect.
No.
It was more of a slurp, if you will.
Oh my God!
The closest I got
looks
is
like
the bong rip
The mom
sound.
looks like she's enjoying it. Like I don't get that.
Who is looking like she's
The mom of holding the baby.
You know what? And they say Trump supporters are cultists. I mean, you've got mothers who are allowing the denture grip ridden president to slobber all over their kids.
Excuse me, is this the line for having the president bite your baby?
That'd be a short line.
I think they're just delusional. Don't put that on cultists. Cultists are at least organized.
This is true.
Joe,
Not standing up for cultists, but
you know what? They need to find a closet for Joe Biden and just stick him in it.
They have
You
to.
know what I mean?
They should.
I mean, it's great for content. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's been a great couple of days with this whole comment about garbage, but, you know.
Have we had an event with him near kids this presidency where there wasn't one of these cringeworthy moments?
No,
Breaking news, it was 3 times. He put the foot in the mouth 3 times.
No.
Now, was it 1 foot or did he go for both feet?
No, he was holding 1 foot. The kid was dressed as a chicken. And mom,
Let me taste the other foot.
Oof.
You missed my joke earlier. Some kid was dressed as a ghost. And I said, well, it makes sense because Biden's always trying to shake hands with ghosts. So
Biden said, you look like the Democrats I came up with.
Oh, look, a Democrat voter. Anyway, all right. So it looks like you got 4 small kids.
Yes.
Yeah. What time do you go?
What are you going to
trick-or-treating?
do for trick or treating? Because it's supposed to rain.
Yeah.
So we'll probably try to hit Murfreesboro on the square. That's always a big to do in the borough. We'll hit those businesses there, and then we'll do the neighborhood. It always is disappointing to be like, all right, umbrellas.
Yeah.
Like, who wants to do that?
Right.
But we have a smaller neighborhood. We're not going to like make the kids pile up in the car and go house to house.
Now, do you in Victoria? Do you dress in
Victoria?
Virginia.
They both start with a V, Chris. Okay.
Shut up, Jane. So that's my bad. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
Well, at least I didn't call her the little woman. Do you guys dress as? Doggone it. As matching costumes or whatever?
No, but
Amy and I are going as chips and salsa.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm gonna wear the vest.
By the way, I believe I'll be the big cheese.
Oh, all right.
And she'll be the chip.
Good to know.
Chris, we had a little dispute about what time people actually go out trick-or-treating. So what time will you go out?
We usually wait until we see the kids start circling the neighborhood.
Yeah,
and then we
but
pull
somebody's
the
got to
trigger.
go first, man.
Yeah, somebody's got to go first. You don't want to be the first one.
Well, somebody's got to be the first. So why not be you? Go out at 3.
If my kids are listening, they have the green light now from Dan Mandis.
Yeah, I was gonna say how early is too early for going trick or treating?
Dan said 4:30's fine, Dad.
That's you know what? Kids, Kennedy, everybody, 4:30's fine.
Yeah.
There you go.
What about Riker? What's he going as?
As some sort of a character that Amy, if you're listening, what is Riker going as? I don't know.
Amy, Alexa, please answer immediately.
Amy, Alexa. He's going to he's got all these things that.
There she is.
Oh my gosh. No,
I
that's
cannot believe it.
No, that was Chris's phone.
That was Victoria.
That's Virginia.
She said 6 p.m. 6 p.m. says
6,
Victoria.
All right, so Victoria says 6. No, it's Virginia.
She wrote it. She actually wrote 6 p.m. says Victoria. That was her text message.
So you know what you're doing. You're confusing me even more. Anyway.
I love it.
Yes, keep it going.
A meme was born.
That's exactly right. So, yeah, Riker is going as some sort of a character from one of his many shows that he watches on YouTube.
Perfect.
Again, Amy and I are going as chips and salsa. And we're just going to go out and we're going to have fun. And we'll probably go out about 4:30 or 5. So if you're listening from my neighborhood, go by my house, because not only do we have full-size candy bars, but there's going to be a big bucket of them because I'm going to be out trick-or-treating with Amy and Riker.
Oh, so there's not going to be anything after 3
you know
p.m.
What? No, here's the thing. So if you tell people take one, do you think they actually just take one out of the bucket?
No.
I know I didn't when I was a kid.
So you're just going to leave the bucket unguarded?
Well, I could put Bandit there, but he'll eat it. So,
You can put that Frankenstein head that you were talking about there.
Every
Scare
November
people away.
1st, don't you see the videos online of people going up to the buckets and just dumping it into their bag and walking away? Like, there's always people that do that.
Listen, the last kid that shows up at my house by about 8 o'clock, they get all the candy.
Yeah.
It's like, here you go, dump, turn off the light, and I'm going to bed. That's what I do.
It's too late. It's too late for you.
Now, what are your kids going as?
I know Kennedy is I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah.
Kennedy is going as Wednesday from Addams Family.
Oh, that's cool.
Not like the new woke series. We don't do that, but the old school one. And then the other guys, I'm not sure.
You guys get the joke?
Oh,
I got it. We got it.
Addams Family.
We're picking up what you're putting down, Dan.
Yeah.
Very thumpy snaps. They're not very...
Chris's wife and I are going out for trick-or-treating tonight. She's going as Victoria. I'm going as Jane.
It's an easy costume. You're just going to get a couple name tags.
Hello, my name is.
All right, so what's coming up next, Chris?
Well, I mean, in honor of Halloween, I've put together one of the spookiest shows of all time. We're going to have an actual Nazi on the show today.
Let's go.
Whoa. Love it.
I just want scary
really?
characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a Nazi.
Oh, okay.
The Nazi's going to be joining us at 10:35.
This should be good.
I'm just trying to figure. Okay, so this is a professional tease
What
because
do
I
you
don't know
mean?
what.
It's Halloween.
How many Nazis do you know?
Enough.
Okay.
Enough. How many's too many?
The hated listeners are like, of course, hand knows Nazis.
Of course, I'm going to get a Nazi on the show. So we'll have a Nazi on the show at 10:35, and then also today we want to talk about your favorite Halloween villains and the Democrats they remind you of.
Please, yeah, I'm so excited.
We'll be doing that after we talk to the Nazi.
Man, I wish you would have told me. I would love to. Like, if I thought, I'd have to really think about it because I'm not a villain guy, and I'm certainly not a Democrat guy. So it'd take me a minute to think. I'm gonna have to. I may call in. If I can think of one, I'll call in.
Think of one and call
absolutely.
in. I'll give you a spoiler on my list. I have Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Nancy Pelosi.
Side by side.
You can't tell which is which when the pictures are next to each other.
That's exactly right.
I think Leatherface is a little more sober, but yeah.
Who would Joe Biden be?
Jaws. He's the shark from Jaws.
Taking bites out of the kids.
Yeah, I was like, my choice for that was the walkers from The Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one, too. That's a good one.
All right. Sounds like an action-packed show. Chris Hand coming up after the news at 9. Dan Mandis here. Appreciate you listening. By the way, the Super Text line is open, 615-737-9986. Now, the VIP, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, VIP is over.
It's gone.
Right?
It's gone.
So VIP is gone. We had some people that checked in and said, is there any way that you could squeeze any more out? And I don't know what happened to those folks. It's a really big room.
It's a big room.
It's a massive room. So I don't know if they're thinking about maybe opening up some more VIP. We got a lot of really great sponsors. Our friends at the Glock store, they are sponsoring the big November 5th election party. I can't wait. They've always got some amazing things at their booth.
Laser engraved Trump Take Back America Glock. That thing is gorgeous.
Yes.
I have not seen a prettier gun than that.
I don't know if I have either. And that's one of the things that I really like about what they do is they do custom guns.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to think of it maybe for Amy's upcoming 40th birthday, I'll come up with a customized gun for her.
Oh, there you go.
And then she can use it on me when I keep telling her that she's now 40.
Hey, happy birthday. Here's a laser engraved Trump Glock. What do you think?
That's exactly right.
I was thinking
You won't
about
call her the little woman anymore, will you?
I was thinking about getting Virginia the same thing for hers.
I'll tell you what. Well, listen, we love the Glock store. We love all of our sponsors to these events. We really appreciate it. If you want to check out the Glock store, please do. Shoot270.com. That is shoot270.com. The Glock store, minutes from the airport and worth the drive from anywhere. Dan Matt here for my window company, Window Nation. Now, I love these folks. They put new windows in my basement studio, my bedroom, my kitchen as well. Now, right now, it is prime window buying time because the weather is about to turn really cold. So if your windows are going to allow the warm air out and the cold air in this winter, you need to act right now. And Window Nation is looking out for you with a great special going on right now. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. That is a great deal from Window Nation. You know, Window Nation has over 33,000 5-star reviews on Google and a big 5-star review from my house. Now, your new windows can be installed in a day or less, and they come with a lifetime warranty. Now, don't forget that great deal. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Again, a great deal from Window Nation, windownation.com, 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION.